This man right here, Bijan Robinson, first carry in the NFL, rips off a big old run, almost has a touchdown. Who are the best 3 picks in every single round? That's what we're discussing live. That's what we're doing today. Buckle up, get in the live stream, hit the thumb up button. The Fantasy Football Show, best pick in every single round, best 3 picks in every single round begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
We're doing it live. We're doing it live like we always do, and this time's a very special edition of the Fantasy Football Show because we're talking about the best picks in every single round. This could be quite arguably the most useful episode we've ever produced here on the Fantasy Football Show in 2023. So buckle up, hit that thumb up button, subscribe if you're new, and let's dig right into this topic of best pick in each round. First of all, I don't know if anybody has seen it, but Bijan Robinson's first carry in the NFL looked like LaDainian Tomlinson meets everything we've ever said about Bijan. Everything we've ever said about Bijan. The comps. He looks like LT. He runs decisively like LT. He runs like Saquon Barkley. He runs like Bijan Robinson. There's no real way to quantify or comp him or talk about him in a way that doesn't disrespect the trajectory that this man is on. He's on his own course of being the guy people compare to. It's, he's the next Bijan. He's the next Bijan. He looks like the next Bijan. This guy is his own man. This guy is decisive. And watching him, I know it's one carry, and a lot of you... What is going on here? Why is that mic not working? Son of a B. I was on a roll too. I was on a roll. Let me just check that mic. I don't know why the mic's not hot. Son of a B! Son of a B!
Warning. Warning. Threshold.
It makes me so...
Alert. Maximum levels reached. Prepare for transformation. Alert. Maximum levels reached. Prepare for transformation.
Time for a Smitty rant.
I don't know what happened to my mic. I'll have to fix it another time. What I was trying to say so eloquently, silently, was just watching this man carry the football for the first time. I got goosebumps. I watched a man that looked like LaDainian Tomlinson met Saquon Barkley, and they genetically engineered a baby. And this guy taking even just one carry, and somebody could say, Smitty, you're going to get excited over a preseason game. If you think I'm excited about Bijan Robinson because of a preseason game, you haven't been following my show, because this is par for the course. That doesn't make me like him even a single bit better. It's just making me louder. It's just making me a louder person on this topic. Bijan Robinson is heading to Mars as we speak to colonize Mars with every other Mars man that exists.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men.
Look at these guys.
Dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
The fearless leader, Bijan. The most recent addition, St. Brown. Well, actually, Pollard, technically. Pollard. This is a phenomenal group of individuals that are going to win you championships. And I have a fear, though, that the amount of people that are going to get amped up by watching Bijan just take just even that one single carry. They're just going to say he's special. And even the comments of like a Twitter post where it shows him running the football, everybody and their mother. Let me see if I can even get this clip up and just show you. It was everybody and their mother is reacting to this. They're saying, "Oh my God, this guy. Oh my God, this guy. He looks phenomenal. He's running the ball. He almost rips off a touchdown run. He slipped. He almost had to slip one defender, and he was in the end zone for his first NFL carry." I'm so excited about Bijan Robinson. I can't even explain it. He is the best pick in round one. Now, I'm not saying you necessarily have to take him number one overall, but when JJ and Chase are off the board, he is the best pick in fantasy football 2023 in round number one. I take him over a CMC. I almost forgot his name. That's how much he's not even on my mind. I take him over CMC. I take him over Eckler. I take him over Tyreek Hill. I take him over every player you would contemplate at number 3 overall, and it's not even a hesitation. It's not even a hesitation for me whatsoever. Bijan Robinson is the man. Bijan Robinson is generational. Bijan Robinson is the guy everybody will be compared to the next lot of players coming in. And if you've got the number 1, 2, or 3 overall pick, you got a dilemma because you can go Chase, you can go Bijan, or you can go JJ. And technically, you could go Kelsey if you want, because he is also one of my favorite picks, my top 3 picks in round number 1. And I have a video on this right now up on my YouTube. It's the most recent video before this one on why you can dominate and smash your league mates with a Travis Kelce early draft selection. Travis Kelce in round number 1, mid-round 1, even number 4 overall. Let's say you were in a draft with a bunch of the Fantasy Football Show sharks, and it went Chase, JJ, Bijan, and you're on the clock at number 4. I get that question a lot. Smitty, what happens if they're all gone? First of all, you'd have to be playing in our community for Bijan not to be there, at least prior to today. We'll see what happens after today, but Kelsey's there. You have literally the best 4 selections you could have in 2023 right in front of your face. It's not like someone's going to take somebody. You have Kelsey, Chase, JJ, and Bijan. If you've got a top 4 pick, you can stay put and be fine. Chase is my number 1 in PPR. I think he scores 14, 15 touchdowns this year. I think he has over 100 receptions. I think he has over 1,400 receiving yards. I think he takes a big step forward. This is the number 1 in points per target wide receiver in the NFL. He got injured last year, but he's still that player. And I think Joe Burrow and Chase get on their horse in 2023, and we finally see this man take that leap that we know he can take. The leap where he could score touchdowns that no other player at the wide receiver position could score in the NFL. This will be, I believe, the next player to score over 20 receiving touchdowns in one season. It will be Jamar Chase. Randy Moss used to do it. Jamar Chase will soon be that guy. Will he do it every season? No. Will he have a 14 TD season, 18 TD, 15 TD, 21 TD? Yes. 22 TD, then 15 TD season, yes, but he is a double-digit lock as long as he's playing games. He is a guy capable of 14-plus every single season going forward if he plays full seasons, and he will have a couple 20-plus touchdown seasons in his career, and I believe that one could be this year. The one TD, the 20-plus touchdown season could be this season. Now, I explain in great detail why Travis Kelce is one of my top 3 picks in round 1, 2023, and why this is a different year to draft tight end in round 1 or draft Travis Kelce in round 1. He's the only tight end you draft early. I don't even draft Andrews in 3. I don't want anything to do with it. I like Andrews, but I can go get an Okonkwo and Kincaid later and use that 3rd round pick on Jahmyr Gibbs or on a Ridley. We'll get to round 3 in a minute. But Kelce, it's such a different time because Kelce can be coupled with all kinds of players that are just so deep at the running back and wide receiver position this year that have never really been there before in years past. Go watch my video on Kelce, but you can absolutely, thank you, Howard, for the hype emoji sticker. Thank you, everybody who's been dropping all kinds of super chats on screen. So Howard dropping that sticker, Bryson dropping his $5 hauler to start the show, says trade Jahan Dotson for Tua for a backup instead of having Russell Wilson. No, you keep Jahan Dotson. You don't trade Jahan Dotson for a backup quarterback. You keep Dotson and let him gain more value and then look to trade him for something bigger later or keep him. Preseason football, let's go. Thank you, Space Ricky. Thank you, all 3 of you, for dropping those super chats from the jump. Okay, so in a nutshell with Kelce, again, there's a big video, the most recent video before this, that will explain to you that Travis Kelce is different this year. You used to draft a team with Kelce in the years past and go, my team looks so light. And again, if you covered up Kelce on the piece of paper and you looked at someone's team and you said, your team kind of sucks, bro, and you take your hand off and you go, you got Kelce, it makes sense. Okay, this year, it doesn't even look like that. You could cover up Kelce and go, nice team, bro. And then you go, I got Kelce, biatch. And you're like, oh my God, how did you draft this team? Because the running back and wide receiver positions are deeper than they've ever been. In round 3, you're getting Gibbs. In round 4, you're getting Fields, and Ridley could slip there sometimes. You have so many opportunities to beef up with low-end wide receiver ones, low-end potential running back ones in rounds 3, 4, and 5. Pacheco's going in 6, 7, 8. Swift is going in 6 and 7. Those guys could crack the top 12 at the running back position. Dotson, Pickens, Kadarius Toney, and Sky Moore cuffed together. Bijan looks so good. Bijan looks so good. One-handed catch. The ball was not thrown properly. Grabs it with one hand. Spins around. Literally looks like the best player in the National Football League. Bijan Robinson is already the best player in the National Football League. And you could say whatever the hell you want. I really don't care. This is my show, and I get to say what I want. It's my opinion-based show. And Bijan's the number 1 player in the National Football League. Chew on it all you want. Come in here late to the party. We've already taken away all your Bijan Robinson cards, all you Bijan haters, and we're going to continue to do so.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
Don't come in here and say, okay, now I believe in him.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
Okay, there's a certain kind of a standard we have here on the Fantasy Football Show where we come in hot, we come in early, and we're not late to the party. Everybody else is late to the party, and we're going to continue to drop fire like Bijan number 3 overall or running back 1 before anybody's comfortable saying it. That's how we do it. That's how Dad did it. We're going to continue to do it that way. Let's do it. Okay, Tucker says trade Waddle for Olave. I take Olave, but the bottom line is Waddle's got higher value, so you should be commanding more based on fair market value. You know what I'm saying? But I actually like Olave more. That's my personal preference, and not everybody is going to agree with me. So make sure you understand that the fair market commands more, so you got to pretend like you're taking a bath on the trade. You go, oh man, I'm trading down to Olave. He's kind of a 3rd or 4th rounder on ESPN, bro. I don't know if I can do that trade. And you get some kind of bump somewhere else. Salty Chopper dropping a $20 hauler. Bijan to the moon. Let's go, Salty.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Salty, appreciate you, my guy, dropping a $20 hauler on the screen. Salty is the man, the myth, the legend. Salty Chopper, ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you, Salty. All right, so we've concluded round 1. This is Bijan. Best pick in round 1, period. I don't care if it's number 1 overall. It's still the best pick in round 1. Oh, but Smitty, how? I don't understand. Aren't you drafting him at his ceiling? Yeah, if you don't know football. If you don't know football, sure, Bob. That's your takeaway. Walk away from this. Yeah, just like we talked about Marshall Faulk at number 1 back in the day being drafted at his ceiling. What are you talking about? Or just like LT. I'm not going to take LT number 1 because that's his ceiling. It wasn't his ceiling. He shattered the ceiling. Bijan is going to be so far and above worth number 1 overall value that it's like you're drafting at -5. That's what it's like. You take Bijan at 1, you're getting a 5-player value steal. He's -5. Bijan's -5. That's where he's ranked. He's ranked outside of the top. He's ranked inside the -5 to 1 overall. Yeah, I just made that up, and it's going to stick moving forward. Bijan Robinson is worth 5 spots above the 1.1. Bob, get used to it and take a lap. Round 1 has concluded. We now jump over to round number 2. Who is the best? Who are the best 3 picks in round number 2? I'm sure some of you feel you can predict some of what I'm going to say. Here are the best 3 picks, and if I had to rank them, I would probably say Garrett Wilson, I lean, is the best pick in round number 2. He goes in 1, oftentimes, especially in our community. He goes outside of 1, outside of our community. And I will say that if you can grab a player like Pollard, St. Brown, or Garrett Wilson, all worthy of first-round draft selections, you are getting quite arguably, I don't want to say bigger steals than the guys in round 1 that, could explode, even Kelsey, but quite arguably maybe bigger values in a sense, because Garrett Wilson, I think, is worthy of the 9 or 8 overall pick. Garrett Wilson's worthy of taking 8 or 9 overall and letting every Bob out there laugh at you. I could care less. St. Brown is worth an 8 to 12 overall pick. Both these guys, I would say Garrett Wilson more than St. Brown, fall to round 2. And Tony Pollard is anywhere between 10 and 14, 10 and 15. I venture to say that he's climbing, but traditionally you're going to get laughed at when you take Tony Pollard at number 12 overall. But you let people laugh, and you laugh all the way to the bank, because there's a world where this guy can finish right there with Bijan. I don't think he finishes higher than Bijan. He could, but he could be number 2. He could be number 1. Maybe he's 1 and Bijan's 2. He's top 1 to 2. Potential. He's top 5 to 10, I think, floor. If he stays healthy, I don't see a world where Tony Pollard isn't 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. I just don't see it. If he's healthy, there's just no way. In fact, I almost say if he's healthy, there's no way he's outside the top 5. This is the most efficient running back in the National Football League. And if you say, wait a minute, Smitty, he's too small, then why does he average 5 yards per carry? Why will he average 5 yards per carry? And Bob, why was he the number 1 running back in the National Football League in yards after contact? That is a big boy stat. Does anybody understand what yards after contact really means? It means you're a big boy. That means you're a big boy that plays ball like a lot of people wish they could. This is a guy that after contact, if he's so small and incapable of handling a full workload, Smitty, why did he lead the National Football League in yards after contact? Number 1, because he's a boss. That's why. And when people say things like he's too small or whatever, I shake my head, because the person clearly doesn't know ball. They clearly don't know ball, because the man is 6 foot tall. They don't know ball. He's 6 foot tall. He's 209, and you say he's small. He's bigger than Bijan Robinson. He's bigger than Bijan Robinson. And Bob is out there, and Worried William, and Repeating Roger, who watches 18 channels separately and just repeats everything he sees. He goes and watches channel number 4. and they say, Pollard handling the full workload just worries me, Steve. Yeah, Mark. It sounds like it's one of those things where you're just going to get disappointed. I don't feel comfortable taking a guy that hasn't done it yet at 12 overall, Steve. Yeah, Mark, it sounds like a big risk. Then he comes over, repeating Roger to our channel and says, where are my cliff notes? Let me read it. Dear Smitty and chat, I think it's probably risky to draft Tony Pollard as your number one running back because he has not done it yet. Sincerely repeating Roger. That's not what we're about. We're not cookie cutter. We predict uncomfortable things. Things are always uncomfortable until they're not. Jalen Hurts, top 1 to 5 quarterback. Oh, that's uncomfortable. It was. Now it's not. How does it feel? Take it in. Take it in. It's nice, isn't it? It's nice to be free. It's nice to go commando once in a while. And I'll tell you what. Go commando with some of your picks. Go commando in pick 10 to 14. Can I have a commando emoji or anybody that can reference commandoing in the live chat right now? Going Pollard at 12. Taking him just a little bit early. Being free. Living free. Choosing with your own mind and not regurgitating what you're hearing out there. Go commando. Go commando. Take Tony Pollard. It's that simple. Commando, Pollard. Pollard, commando. Do it live. Go commando live. Okay, so St. Brown, obviously Garrett Wilson, Pollard. This goes without saying. These are first round players in our minds, and they're going freaking in the top of round 2 of a big portion of the time when you're drafting outside of our community. So go clean up and do it live. Okay, go clean up and do it live. Let's go ahead and move on over to round number 3. That is round 2. That is round 2. Round number 3. Jahmyr Gibbs, easily the best pick probably in all of fantasy football 2023, if I had to guess. And because this guy falls to round 3 in so many other platforms other than Best Ball, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty, where you can literally go and your first deposit will be doubled up to $100 if you use the link that's in the description of every video and use the link I'm about to drop right now in the live chat. So that link right there will get you where you need to go. Click that link. I will go ahead and pin said link in the live chat, but the link is in the description of every single video. And the fact is, you can literally go there right now, sign up in about, 1, 2, 3 minutes. It'll take no time at all. Using code Smitty, using the link, they'll match up to $100, but most importantly, you'll be ready to draft tonight. We're going to draft live tonight. Where are these big ballers going to go in tonight's draft? If you don't sign up now, you won't be ready to jump in, and I'll explain how to get in right away. This guy right here. We'll get to Olave in a second. Best pick in fantasy football. Period. There's no equivocation. There's no hesitation. There's no stuttering in my voice. I'm literally telling you. I'm handing you the keys to the championship. Not in round 2, Steve. Not in round 2. Early Earl is trying to fire off Gibbs at 15 overall because good old Smitty boy came in and told him he's going to be a top 5 to 10 running back. Earl, calm down. Calm down, Earl. Use your brain, Earl. Don't go buy a $100 stock for $500 and say, well, Smitty likes it. So I overpaid. You don't buy a $500,000 house for $750 because I told you it's going to be $1 million house someday, Bob. Use your brain. This guy's going in round 3 on the regular. There's no need to preemptively move this man's ADP because you're anxious Angus and you don't know what the hell you're doing. This guy wins you a league in round 3. He's a top 5 to 10 running back. I don't say top 6 to 10. I don't use top 5 lightly. Top 5 to 10 running back as a rookie. Oh, but Smitty, this is just the most ridiculous take and counterpoint to this that I get so tired of responding to it. I really need to have some sort of video clip I can send people to that says, I understand a lot of you are worried about David Montgomery. stealing every little bit of Jahmyr Gibbs' workload divide. But, dear friend, let me say this with the utmost confidence. Jahmyr Gibbs has nothing to freaking do with David Montgomery. Because if this team runs the ball even 450 times, guess what Gibbs is getting? Not even half of those rushing attempts. Montgomery's going to be handed more carries than he can actually take on. Those are irrelevant to Jahmyr Gibbs' carries. I think between the two of them, they can't even run for the amount of carries that the team wants to run. If they're like the Falcons who ran 570 plus times, then think about that for a second. When people say Algiers going to eat into Bijan, 570 rushing attempts, led the NFL. Bijan Robinson is going to be in no shortage of rushing attempts. 559. 559. They led the league in rushing attempts in Atlanta, 559. Half of those, he won't even get half of those carries, Bijan Robinson. What are people talking about? Algier taking away from Bijan. Half of 500's 250. They run the ball 560 times. You don't want Bijan Robinson getting 250 carries as a rookie. Or if he does, that's about it. You don't want him getting 350. You want this man efficient. You want this man hungry. You want this man active in the PPR game. You would love to have Bijan well under 250, 220, 240, and then you give him a 60 reception rookie season. That's what you want out of Bijan. Gibbs is like the flip of Bijan. He's going to get a big chunk of receiving yards. I wouldn't even be surprised if he was well under 1,000 yards rushing, well over the 580 that Underdog Fantasy had him at, and we hit that over constantly. And I think they moved the line already to 6 something, but we crushed that. Smitty, code Smitty, Underdog Fantasy, link is pinned in the live chat. The season long higher lows, we smashed that pretty good. Jahmyr Gibbs at like 580 higher. Pretty amazing contest that you could have grabbed, and you still can, because I think it's in like the 600 or something like that. But Jahmyr Gibbs, wouldn't be shocked if he was under 1,000 rushing the ball, which means that Monty could be 1,200, 1,300, and it doesn't affect Gibbs. And this guy could have 12 plus touchdowns, 65 plus receptions, 500 plus receiving yards, and like I said, 12 to 14 total touchdowns. This is a top 5 potential running back, definitely top 5 to 10. And then Olave, again, it depends where you're drafting. He's a second rounder pretty steadily on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Again, we're drafting tonight. Hit that link in the live chat and description. Code Smitty doubles your deposit up to $100. But on Underdog, he's higher than he is anywhere else. ESPN, 3rd round. Yahoo, 3rd round. Sometimes I get reports 4th round in some of these platforms. So some of this stuff doesn't carry over from every single platform, and I have to cater to all of it, because not all of you play just Underdog. A lot of you getting ready for your yearly redraft leagues are not drafting on Underdog because that's best ball. So this particular content is going to cater a little more toward what you probably could get away with on another platform outside of the best ball that we dominate at every single day. This is my 3rd favorite player in round number 3, Calvin Ridley. And I've even taken him at the bottom of 2 when I'm not feeling all the other players that are sitting there, and I'm just like, I don't want to go. I don't want to rush it. I've been at 2.12 and 3.1 the turn picks, and don't tell anybody, and make sure you don't make this guy your 2.12. We don't want to hurt his ADP any more than we have to, but I've literally drafted these 2 guys at back-to-back picks before. Don't tell anybody. Okay, don't tell anybody. Jamar Chase, Gibbs, Ridley, Walker, later on Fields, later on championship. Walk to the bank. You tell them, you show them your little, napkin with your team written on it. You say, this is my team. And they consider, I've heard, this is probably not true, that they'll maybe give you an advance on your league winnings. Hey, this is collateral. Hey, let me show you a little collateral. This is my fantasy team. Can I get a little advance on that 1,000? These are the 3 best picks in round number 3. And really, there are other names to throw out there, but these are the guys that I isolated and felt the most strongly about. In round 4, we have a similar thing going on to where maybe Watson falls another round, maybe Burrow falls another round. This is round number 4, right? We're in round number 4, and I have 5 at the top. Let me change this over to 4. Sorry about that. 4. Round 4. I really, really think that these guys are all very, very good value, even if you have to reach on Burrow. But the one thing I want to tell you is his calf injuries behind him. People are getting back on the train, and there might not be a world where you could draft him in 6 or 5 anymore. And so you just got to kind of like, buck up and say to yourself, this man's worth the 4th rounder. You can't get caught up in that, oh, he was a 6th rounder, now I'm drafting, he's not. I'm not going to take him because I'm not getting the value that was on the board. He can crush 4th round value. You get Jamar Chase in round 1, you get Joe Burrow in round 4, you smash. Fields could be arguably the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football. I have no problem mixing it up between these two 50-50. Go Joe Burrow in one draft, go Fields in the other. Go Joe Burrow in the next draft, go Fields in the other. Go Fields, Burrow. I want almost 50% shares of both of these guys. These are arguably two of the 4 best overall picks in fantasy football 2023. I'll say Jahmyr Gibbs in round 3 is probably the very best pick potentially right now in fantasy football 2023. And I have these right here if anybody wants to catch up on this. Joe Burrow was there at round 5 and 6. He at round 4 might be more comparable to Gibbs in terms of how much bang for the buck you're getting. But any way you spin it, these are the best 4 picks in all of 2023 fantasy football. And the crazy part is things are evolving all the time in fantasy football. And things like the Four Horsemen that I put. The values, let's look at the Four Horsemen real quick. The values have changed so much since I've done that video. It's constant, a revolving door of value. And when I do a video as complex as this Four Horsemen video I'm going to show you, literally 3 weeks later, there's some parts of it that don't apply, or some players that are going later now that you don't want to take them where I'm suggesting, or they're going earlier and you can't get them where the video is suggesting. But this right here is holding true. Fields, Burrow, Gibbs, and Walker, I have not once wavered and said, you know what, I got to redo the 4 players that I've chosen for my 4 best picks in fantasy football. They've remained constant, and that's amazing because there's so much evolution and evolving and up and down of fantasy values. But we'll watch the Four Horsemen video and you'll kind of see what I mean, because some of the values have changed around.
The Four Horsemen. Drafting Chase in round 1. Hall in 2. Burrow in 3. London in 4. Try Gibbs in 3. Burrow in 4. Wilson in 2. No problem. Combinations of these monsters will give your league mates nightmares, especially Bijan 1, Olave 2, Burrow 3, and Gibbs 4. Don't lie. You just made an oopsie in your pants, didn't you? Ride for horses at the same time. The Four Horsemen.
And the crazy part is you saw that video and it said Bijan, Olave, and it said Burrow, Gibbs. But Gibbs and Burrow kind of swapped in a way that makes sense to keep this one of the best Four Horsemen you could assemble, especially if we keep everything constant and only mess with a 2nd round player. If this becomes Pollard, home run. If this becomes St. Brown or Garrett Wilson, home run. This is the Four Horsemen. This is going to probably remain the top level Four Horsemen that I can put together, unless it's Fields instead of Burrow. And that's amazing that for the most part it's changed. If you watch the video, there are some players that moved around. Like London no longer is in round 4. He's in round 5. So this is absolutely going to crush in fantasy football. So Gibbs in round 3. Let's go back to round 4 real quick and just summarize round 4. So Watson, I'll get to Watson in a second. So I want half of my teams to have Burrow, half of them to have Fields, and if I miss on either one, I want Trevor Lawrence. Watson in round 4 is a smash. We've seen him go in the 3rd. We've seen him go in the 5th. We've seen him go in the 6th. We've seen him go in the 4th. He seems to be leveling out in the 4th round. I think that package is in so much risk. I did hate it when he was in the 3rd round. I still drafted him, but I didn't draft him as much because there's a lot of allure as your 4th drafted player versus your 3rd drafted player. So Watson being in 4 or 5 is key. And in a lot of grandma leagues, you will get him in 5. I've seen people get him in 6. he doesn't go in 4 unless you're in a very, very astute league full of ballers. And I know all of you think that your leagues are all good, but every time someone calls in and goes, Smitty, I'm in a really tough league, really good league. Like last night, that caller, Grant. Yeah, no offense, Grant. Brofist Grant, I love you, pal, but he's like, my league's really, really competitive. And everyone thinks their league's competitive. I think it's a knock on you if you're not in a competitive league. So you like to pretend like your league's competitive. And you're also trying to like tell me, I didn't get this team because I just worked over everybody and they're a bunch of morons. I had to really draft well to get this team. So a lot of people say, my league's really competitive. My league's really competitive. You guys all have a bunch of Bobs somewhere in your league. Everybody pretty much does. And when someone like Grant says, my league's very competitive, but Breece Hall went in round 8, that's what he said last night, your league's not competitive. And that's okay. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Just don't say it's competitive and come in here and say it. So, Grant, I love you, pal. Bijan Robinson, replay of that run. Love it. That guy's a monster. Grabs the ball, secures the football, lowers his body, low center of gravity. Just balance, unbelievable. Contact balance, amazing. Bijan to the moon. Bijan to the moon. Drake London to the moon. Hopefully Kyle Pitts is utilized as well to a capacity that allows him to be in the top 5 to 10. Atlanta's looking pretty solid. Bijan Robinson catching a pretty errant throw by Ritter, but one-hands that bad boy, pulls it in like a boss, turns amazingly. It was almost like in soccer when someone kicks the soccer ball at you, and instead of stopping it with your foot and then like turning and changing directions, you let it go. You let it roll past you and you use the momentum of the ball and just kind of run with it and then start to pick up the soccer ball and take it downfield. That's what Bijan did with that throw. Instead of getting the ball, catching it, and then going forward, Bijan literally grabbed that ball with one hand, spun with it, and went with the spin move. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. Like Bijan's opening, his opening day couldn't have been any better in my mind in terms of what I saw visually. The cues that I picked up on this kid, absolutely phenomenal little debut by Bijan Robinson. Watson to the moon around 4. We'll get to the next round in 1 second. Super chat here from Gunner. Gunner says, Smitty, I play in a redraft where you can trade picks. Should I trade picks 1, 2, and 22 for 3, 18, and 23? 3, 18, and 23. I don't know, bro. This is like, no. I mean, if your intention is to draft Bijan, I suppose you could, and then take Gibbs at 23, and that way you're not forcing that. So you could literally go, and maybe at 18. So if you get Bijan and you get lucky and like Garrett Wilson or St. Brown or somebody falls, you could definitely, take quite a big advantage of that. But at the same time, 20 and 22 are nice as well. I don't know. I guess if your plan is to take Bijan, maybe make the trade, but make him pay a little bit more. Make him pay a little bit more. You're giving him the number 1 overall pick. Like, it almost feels like you're kind of doing an even Steven swap. And I always feel like the guy that's getting the number, he needs to swap like his 5th and 4th round with you. Like, you can't just make an even Steven trade and give someone the number 1 overall pick. It doesn't make any sense, bro. This doesn't, you know what I'm saying, Gunner? This doesn't make any sense to be like, hey, you want the number 1 overall pick? Then we'll just swap the other 2 and we'll call it even. Like, it is even in a way, but it's not fair because you're giving him the number 1 overall player. So you need to get something somewhere. And if he gets all like, no, I'm not doing it, then don't do it. Then don't come to me and ask for the number 1 overall pick and you want to do an even Steven trade. It's like trying to kick me right in the nutsack. It's not a good look, bro. I don't like it, Gunner. Gunner, I appreciate you. You are Smitty approved. You are headed to the moon. To the moon. But that trade, I just can't say that, like, I would want something. He's got to swap his 5th and 4th round with you. 6th and 5th round. Something that will make you feel like, okay, now I actually might get, Fields instead of having to go with a different quarterback. Like, you can do that. If you can move your 4th rounder, your 5th rounder into the 4th round and get Burrow or Fields from that move up, that's where it's at. But you can't just give someone, I hate when people take advantage of people in that setting. It's not even like he's getting one over on you. He's just getting a better situation for free. Like, that doesn't make sense. All right. Appreciate you. Let's see. Watson. Okay, so we're good on this fourth round. Let's go to round number 5. This is the last round that I have planned, and we can just spitball the rest of it. But in round number 5, London's falling there like clockwork. Love London. Love London. I get a lot of people are worried about Ritter, but Ritter did have this guy pacing. He did have this guy pacing to a degree that was around, I think, like 1,300 yards when Ritter got into the lineup last year. So regardless of how you feel about Ritter, or if you feel like Ritter is not going to have an amazing season or whatever, that's not really, I guess, what matters. What matters is, can he move the football down the field? And will the Falcons' run-heavy system set Ritter up to be efficient enough to do a little more than he did last year? And I think it will. And what he did last year was feed London enough work to make him about a 1,300-yard extrapolated data receiver. And I don't know if Pitts is going to survive that. And that's why Pitts is not on the Moon Man list anymore. He was at one point. We took him off. There is some concern that Ritter will be able to feed all of them, but understand what I'm saying when I say that. I don't think that means Bijan or London's affected at all. I think that if you got to pull the plug on some of the production expectation, it's coming straight from Kyle Pitts. But I do like Kyle Pitts. It depends on where he falls. London should be great, but he's not my favorite pick in this 5th round. Hall and Walker are. And sometimes Hall will fall, sometimes he won't. Some people will say he's going in the 3rd round. That's fine. You're drafting in a weird draft. We did a draft last night on Underdog where one of our guys, and if you're watching right now, I'm not mad at you. I was just trying to coach you. But last night he took him at like not even the end of the 3rd round. And we just were like, what are you doing? Why are you taking Breece Hall in the 3rd round? It doesn't matter if you like a guy. And everyone says, take your guy. I'm the king of saying, take your guy. Reach a little bit, get your guy. But not when it doesn't make sense. Not when the ADP value is plummeting and you're still returning to his old value. You got to roll the dice a little bit. Breece Hall wins you a freaking league in round 5. Breece Hall might arguably win you a league in round 4, depending on how quickly he gets started. Keep in mind, too, that Dalvin Cook is not practicing. Breece Hall is. Breece Hall's out there running in between tackles. They're not tackling or taking hits, but I mean, this guy's running in between the A and B gap right now in the line of fire, not just taking handoffs on the sideline or whatever. He's in scrimmages. He's in 11 on 11, okay? And he's taking handoffs, live handoffs, in between the gaps, running between defenders, like taking a football from point A to point B through an entire defensive scheme. This guy is absolutely 100% going to ball out at some point this year. And it wouldn't shock me if Breece Hall did it a lot quicker than everybody's thinking, like in week 1. There's no for sure plan for Breece Hall right now. I know everybody wants to pretend that the Dalvin Cook signing means they're going to ease Breece Hall into the offense. It doesn't mean that. It means they're probably preparing to do that if they need to. Breece Hall's got 20 plus days to become amazing. And guess what happened about 30 days after the time we heard Javonte Williams may be a touch behind schedule, may not start week 1, may start the year on the PUP, unable to perform list for the first handful of games in the NFL beginning of the season. And guess what we heard about 30 days later? Miracle. Looks like he didn't even tear his ACL. He's going to absolutely play week 1. He's going to take preseason snaps. 30 days. 30 days later, all of a sudden, Javonte went from behind schedule to a miracle, to a marvel, to a I can't believe this. Reporters saying, unbelievable recovery. This is a miracle. So if anybody thinks Breece Hall's story's been written for 2023, his agenda's been planned out. There's no detouring. You don't know football. Breece Hall could very well start week 1 and be an animal in week 1. The point here is all of the freaking out Freddies out there are letting him fall to at least round 4 on average and probably round 5 in a lot of leagues. Maybe his practice would have put him back into round 4. And if that's the case, I still love him at round 4. But I don't want to promote him there because I think you can get him at 5. I had somebody DM me a screenshot just a minute ago where he's in round 6. So he's all over the place. He's all over the place. Walker. I mean, I've already kind of spilled the beans here. Walker is one of the very best 4 draft selections in all of 2023 fantasy football. So you can bet your bottom dollar that of these 3 guys, Walker is my favorite 5th round player. And I can't for the life of me understand why in the hell he is still going in round 5. I can't figure it. All I know is that everybody's a worried William and a petrified Peter out there, and I'm taking advantage of it. Thank you, Peter. Bro fist to Peter. Bro fist to worried William. Bro fist to scared Scots everywhere. I am so thrilled that everybody still doesn't see the value, the top 12 to 15 overall value that this man held before Zach Charbonnet was drafted onto said roster in Seattle. This man was a top 15 overall player. And Zach Charbonnet changed all of that. Then he got a groin injury, which he's 100% from. He's back on the field. He's taking snaps. He's good to go. And this man is still sitting at 5.1 to 5.5. I was looking at an underdog draft today, researching this video and the video prior to it. And I was just looking at an underdog draft to get a feeler of where some guys were going. And lo and behold, I'm searching for Walker. And I'm like, where the hell's Walker? And I find him at 6.1 in a draft I'm currently in. Now, I had a different draft slot. I took Fields or Burrow or someone. And so by the time it went all the way back around, I didn't have a shot at getting him anywhere near that value. But I take him at about 80% of my drafts in the 5th round whenever I see it, maybe 90%. Kenneth Walker at 6.1 is criminal. It's criminal. It's robbery. I don't know what in the hell is going on in people's minds. You can cuff him to Zach Charbonnet with ease. And if you don't cuff him, you need to take a lap. Most crucial cuffing in all of 2023 is this man to Zach Charbonnet. And Charbonnet goes in the 100 to 110 round range. 110 to 100 to 110 overall territory. And 10th round range. Sometimes you have to take them at late 9 to make sure you don't have a stretch of 20 picks and then you're drafting at the very end of 10 and you can't get them. You have to be mindful, you have to be on your toes, but you need to own the both of them. And this is the very best pick in round 5. Very best pick in round number 5. And recap, just so everybody, if anybody's missed it, in round number 4, very best pick in round 4 for right now is going to be Fields, tied with Burrow. It really is a tie, and I think the reason why I say Fields is because Burrow still is slipping into the 5th round at times. The very best pick in round number 3 is Jahmyr Gibbs, and arguably the very best pick in all of fantasy football. And round number 2, the very best pick is probably a tie between these 3 guys. I don't think I can choose. I love Pollard a lot. I'd probably say Pollard if I had to pick one. Pollard is arguably, if someone had to replace one of the big 4 best picks in fantasy football, it would probably be Pollard in round number 2 if you got him there. That would probably be the replacement player for any one of these guys if I ever had to do that. Let's say Fields got abducted by aliens safely and it was returned to us mid-season. I would replace him, and I would say Tony Pollard gets his spot here. So there's that right there, and the very best pick in round number 1 is Bijan Robinson, clear as day, no hesitation, no equivocation. Now let's hit the phone lines.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Phone lines are open. Dial in. Let's discuss. So excited about the football season, and I can't emphasize enough how much I appreciate every single one of you as we grow on this channel and get bigger and stronger and faster and more elusive. This channel is growing by the day, and it's because of you. I work for you, and we will continue to make this thing pop. And let's open these phone lines, shall we? 602-635-3664. Dial into the show, and we will start delivering upon your request. What's your fantasy football question? What's your trade dilemma question? What do you want to know about the preseason? Why don't we talk about Jalen Hyatt looking like a pretty decent player right now, a guy I've been saturating my lineups with on Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Absolutely amazing. I have to give, God, I got to give the cat insulin. We had a scare with the cat. The cat literally was on his deathbed, and we thought we had one more day with him, and he just bounced back like a maniac. And now I'm back to giving him insulin again. So I have to run and do that for 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Avi, call back in 1 second. I got to give the cat insulin real quickly. So let me put a timer on screen. Smitty will be back in, let's see here. I'll just do a stopwatch. Let's just see how long it takes me to give the cat insulin. All right, hang tight. Be right there. One minute, 31 seconds. World record. World record. Guys, also, by the way, so the cat's good. The cat's good. Let me fix this mic here. Let's see here. Hot mic, hot mic. All right, here we go. Got a little surprise here. Phone lines are open, by the way. This right here is from Grindhouse. All right, hey Avi, put yourself on mute for a second. All right, this right here is from Grindhouse, and I'm gonna open up these shirts right here. These shirts will be. What's up, Farb? Put yourself on mute real quick. I'm coming to you guys in a second. This is from Grindhouse. These are shirts that Grindhouse has created that they'll be giving away. We haven't decided on the promotion quite yet, but like if you buy a hoodie or if you buy X number of things, like if you buy two shirts or a hoodie or something, we're going to come up with something. You're going to get one of these bad boys free. Something like that we're coming up with. So I haven't looked at it yet. The Law Dog Milk shirt. Okay. On the back, it has the Fantasy Football Show logo. It has the Grindhouse logo. On the sleeves, it has the Grindhouse logo on the sleeve and the Fantasy Football Show logo on this sleeve as well. And it's the Law Dog Milk. Let me put this bad boy on. This looks amazing. This looks absolutely amazing. All right, hold on. Hold on. Actually, let's go over to the mash.
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy. Unbelievable. So these will be, I want them to put this on a hoodie as well. But it's got the Grindhouse logo here, the Fantasy Football Show logo here, both logos on the back, and the Law Dog Milk logo on the front. Here's a version they did of a bigger one. I told them I probably would rather have the smaller one, but they gave me both. This one's angled too. I think this is one. No, it's not. Yeah, so this is a Law Dog Milk. This one's huge. This one's crazy big. But this is the shirt. It's unbelievable. Law Dog Milk. For anybody that doesn't know Law Dog Milk, let me play that for you real quick. Law Dog Milk, ladies and gentlemen.
A lion lives among us, posing as half man, half lawman. His golden mane is reportedly 6 feet long and is bathed in milk.
That's right.
His marvelous mane grows longer with each breath he takes. Legend has it that if you say T-Law in the dark in the bathroom 3 times, you lose your league instantly. Conspiracy fanatics have linked his triangle bone structure to the ancient pyramids and alien theory. Law Dog Milk for manes on sale this season. Soak your mane and win a league. Law Dog Milk.
Pour, soak, win. Pour, soak, win. Law Dog t-shirts being given out by Grindhouse. I believe, again, we're coming up with the thing, but if you buy like a hoodie or you buy 2 shirts or something, we're probably going to have them throw in a Grindhouse hoodie. Wait for the promo code. The promo code's coming soon. But I'm going to wear this bad boy for the remainder of the show. That's for sure. All right. So, on that note, let's head on over to Avi. Avi, you're live.
What's up, Smitty? I just want to talk about how good Bijan looked in preseason, but also I think in the entire preseason this year, there's a lot of backups playing, so it's hard to tell, oh, this guy looks so. I'm just talking about overall, not just one guy. Don't get too hyped up from preseason, but also, don't take too much into account what's going on.
Well,
I think Darren Waller looked like a beast today. I want all Waller. So I just think that perspective a little, especially now in 2023.
Yeah, you gotta be
it's a little too jacked up.
You gotta be careful in some respects, but Avi, there's never a formula for it. A lot of it's case by case, like I always say. So when I say a player, you love a player, you love something about a player, and you just need evidence. Like I always use the combine example of Christian Watson. I love Christian Watson. I loved him coming out of college. He played for a small school. We weren't sure if it was going to translate. And so you need something else to back up what you're believing and saying about a player. Combine runs a 4.28 40. He measures in at 6'4". Everything is accenting what you already believe. So I do believe you can get overhyped by things. You just have to be careful not to let hype that happens in the preseason or at the combine or anything in practice make you think something you didn't already think. Let it help you as evidence to support what you already believe to be true. Now, whether you're accurate on your first assessment to begin with, that's fantasy football. You might not be accurate. Maybe Bijan Robinson isn't the guy to somebody, and then he goes out and has a good game in the preseason, and they think, oh, yeah, that's a good carry. I'm going to get on the Bijan train. That's not the way you should be getting on the Bijan train. You should see it already. Yeah. And the fact that Christian Watson had 2 catches for 6 yards, people aren't seeing what happened in that game. He was targeted on 2 other big plays. One was overthrown, the other was broken up, and he was massively targeted. He's going to be Jordan Love's guy. I think Dobbs will have a nice role. Dobbs is a very crafty sleeper pick, but Watson is the guy. And I think people took away from that game that Dobbs was the guy because Dobbs caught the touchdown pass. Same thing with Waller. Waller is going to be the number 1 receiver on this Giants offense, and they targeted him twice in a row, and people need to understand when they come into the game, Hyatt scores a touchdown, Waller gets 2 targets back-to-back. He should have caught that second pass, but Waller is clearly going to be on Danny Dimes' radar. Number 1 target. If Waller stays healthy, which is the big concern, because Waller got hit really hard on that second play, dropped the ball, and went to the sideline grimacing. He was fine, but he took a big shot. And so Waller staying healthy is the big concern. All right, hold on one second, Avi. Let me just put this caller on hold. 607 caller, who's this and where are you calling from?
New York, Chris.
What's up, Chris? Put yourself on mute real quick, Chris, and if you could turn the show down in the background, hang tight. I'll come right around here. Where'd you say you're calling from, Chris?
New York.
Chris, from New York. All right, hang tight, Chris. All right, go ahead, Avi. Finish your sentence, and I'm going to jump around the line.
I don't got much to say right now. I'm just going to stay on the line. I just want to point that out. It's good to get hyped about players in preseason, feel good, but don't overlook it too much and don't underlook it.
You got to do a perfect balance of it. All right, let me go over to Brett Favre. Brett Favre, you're live.
What's up, Smitty?
What's up, pal?
I just want to ask you, does the scoring format push you into Fields or Burrow 5-point bonus, 300 yards plus, 100 yards rushing, 4-point passing touchdown, 6-point rushing touchdown. Does that shift you either way, or is it still toss up, split your hairs?
Well, the fact that you have a bonus for Burrow's 300-yard games and a bonus for Fields' 100-yard games feels like there's some, there's some good and bad to both those, or not good and bad. There's some advantages for both of their skill sets, but I believe they're underestimating Fields' ability to throw 300-yard games. I don't think people understand what's really going on here. I think people really they hear another channel or content creator just run their mouth about Fields not being a 4,000-yard capable passer like he says he is. Fields can be a 4,000-yard passer this year. I think people don't understand what's about to happen. The same thing that happened with Jalen Hurts, people don't understand. Let me get Fields' graphic on here real quickly. Hold on, because we're talking about Fields, and I want to make sure we have the topic at hand. Fourth round. Topic at hand in there. I really, really don't think people understand what's going to happen here this year. I don't think anybody's prepared for it. I think everybody just believes everything they hear about Justin Fields, that he's going to struggle a little bit. They have a little bit more improved offense. DJ Moore's going to be good, but was he enough? Fields can't take that big leap. He was very inaccurate. He's going to rival 3,800 to 4,000 yards this year. Wouldn't shock me if he went above it, but that is where he's going to hover around. He's very, very capable, probably in some ways more capable of being a touchdown thrower than even Jalen Hurts. He is Jalen Hurts. He is Jalen Hurts in 2023, but he's more of a capable passer than people realize. He is a drop back gunslinger that could come into this 2023 season and prove to be one of the top gunslinging quarterbacks that still has the ability to run for 1,000 yards on the ground. Wouldn't shock me if he ran for 950 to 1,000 and he did a lot more throwing. But the thing people don't realize is with a stretched out defense with DJ Moore knifing down the field and Cole Kmet going to cut across the middle because of that, and everybody helping each other out to get open because there's more for the defense to be consumed with, and good players running routes, not garbage injured players where the defense is like, let's worry about where Fields is, not where these clowns are running around the field. They're not even running proper routes. This is going to be completely different. So when DJ Moore is stretching out the defense and you got this middle of the field wide open, all Fields has to do is break through, and then he's got open 20, 30 yard lane to where he can just run right out of bounds before he takes a hit from a closing in defensive back or safety. This is going to be more efficient running for Justin Fields. Therefore, you can dial back the rushing attempts and get more yards per carry, more efficiency, more likelihood of staying healthy because he's going to run out of bounds a little bit more. And so I say all that just to let you know that Burrow and Fields aren't that. Burrow's going to get way more 300-yard games. Burrow's going to throw way more yards than Fields. But all I'm saying is when you factor in that it's the touchdowns, it's 4 points per TD pass, the fact that he gets bonuses for running over 100 yards, which he'll do at least 2 or 3 times, it's close. It's close. But I would say this. I lean 50-50. And I want Fields in one league. I want Burrow in the other league. I go into 2 more drafts. I want Fields in one league. I want Burrow in the other league. I wish I could give you like a very clear answer. I would say in that format, I probably lean Burrow. But I'm telling you right now, I go back and forth every single night as to which one I think is going to potentially be the number 1 quarterback in 2023 fantasy football. I kind of feel like this guy's got a little bit more risk, Fields, but a little bit more ability to hit that mark. Whereas Burrow's 1 to 5. Burrow's 1 to 5, but Fields has that ability to be just out of this world, like just crazy season, 1,000 yards rushing, 12 rushing touchdowns, 27 passing touchdowns, 25 to 27 passing touchdowns, 3,800 passing yards. This is going to be an unbelievable season Justin Fields is about to drop on Fantasy Football Worlds. And every doubter out there is going to be crying in a little corner, holding themselves as they laugh at us now and laugh at a lot of the Bears and the Lions are in a dogfight for the division win. In a straight-up dogfight. Not to mention the Packers are going to be hanging on the entire time. This division is really going to be tight. I mean, and I'm not even talking about the Vikings, which I think they're paper tigers in playoff mode. But this is a very deep division, and I think it's a dogfight between the Bears and the Lions. A dogfight, and this guy's going to be potentially top 3 candidate for NFL MVP. The Vegas odds are going up every single day, so that tells you something. When people say I'm crazy when I say he could be the NFL MVP and be the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football and throw for 4,000 plus yards, and I'm called crazy when the NFL odds makers are dealing with an overload and surplus of Fields MVP contests being dropped every second. I don't understand why people have a disconnect on this. I really don't. I don't know if it's just a lot of it's the double downing Donnie that just is so upset at himself that he's not on board yet. He just continues to double down. Double down Donnie cannot accept what's right in front of his face. And all he does is continue to say, well, if I keep saying he's going to be bad, at least if he's bad, I won't be wrong the whole time. You know, I don't know what it is. That's the only explanation I can give you using the psychology degree that I got so many years ago that sometimes I brush off the cobwebs on the books and we bring it to the show. It's double down Donnie that has a problem with Justin Fields. And he had the same problem with Jalen Hurts, and he's not here to admit it. I've had 2 people, Ron Navy, and then the other guy the other day, I'm sorry I forget who it was, and I think it was in the comments. He said, Smitty, I was one of the Jalen Hurts doubters, and I just want to tell you, I'm not going to make that same mistake again. Fields to the moon. There's only been 2 people that have come in here and admitted how much they hated on the Jalen Hurts prediction I had and how much they hated on Jalen Hurts. Justin Fields is Jalen Hurts, and that's all there is to it. And you can sit back and watch from afar and be upset and disappointed in yourself that you did it twice in a row after I told you he was going to do exactly what Jalen Hurts did, or you can get on board this train because you missed the last one, or for the very lucky few of you that were on board the first train and are on board this train, it's going to be a good season. Okay, so that was Farb. Farb, did you have a follow-up? And I'm sorry I don't have a definitive answer for you. I would say if you want to swing big, go Fields. If you want to swing big, go Fields. If you want a little more steady Eddie with a 1 to 5 upside, he's got 1 upside, but 1 to 5 upside, then you go Burrow.
Nah, that's good, man. Well, I'm taking whoever's there. So if one of them's there, if not, I'll make the decision on draft day.
All right, hang tight. Don't go anywhere. Hang tight. Bobby, you're live, and then I'm going over to Chris. Bobby, go ahead.
What's up, Smitty? How's it going?
What's up, Bobby boy?
All right, so a couple questions for you. Who are you ranking, JSN, Dotson, or Pickens?
Woo! JSN, Dotson, or Pickens? I'm going to say, wow. I'm going to say that is a tough question to answer because where are we drafting on? Underdog, promo code Smitty, which we'll be doing tonight. So hit that link in the live chat pinned. It's also in the description of the video as it's in the description of every video. We'll be drafting tonight. If you don't hit that link now and sign up, and they'll match up to $100 in your first deposit, by the way. You drop 50, they'll give you 50. You drop 100, they'll give you 100. And it's a minimum of $10. It's not, they'll match that. They'll double that. You put in $10, they'll give you 10. You have $20 to play in 4 drafts because they're $5 each right now on Underdog. Why not draft 4 times? You could have 4 drafts right now by going and depositing $10 for the first time. What was the question, Farb?
JSN, Dotson, or Pickens?
Yeah.
Where are you ranking them?
So weeklies on Underdog. If anybody doesn't know what weeklies are, it's where you literally win a week. None of the weeks are tied together. There's no Super Bowl. There's no playoffs. It's literally who wins week 1 off of your best ball team that you don't get to change. You draft 1 and you're done. You draft the 1 team and you're done. But in weeklies, I love JSN because he has the most ability, I think, to get on that upper echelon level, even if it's for a shorter period of time because he's dealing with a crowded room. a crowded wide receiver room where they don't particularly run 3 wide receiver sets all the time in Pete Carroll's system, but I believe they will. I think Pete Carroll is smarter than most coaches out there, and he's got a plan. It's like the A-team. He's always got a plan, and he's going to potentially unravel something that we haven't seen yet in the Pete Carroll system lately, where JSN's out there, and they start running 3 wide receiver sets, and they still run the ball heavy, and they just get him on the field. Not to mention Lockett is an old man, probably gets hurt at some point, and JSN has dominated crowded wide receiver rooms his entire college career. He played with Olave and Garrett Wilson and beat both of them out, had one of the biggest college football seasons ever in the history of college football. And he did that with Garrett Wilson and Olave, who weren't like getting going and they weren't good players. JSN won out. I'm not saying JSN will be better than Olave and Garrett Wilson at the pro level. He could. I'm just merely saying that this guy's got great experience with crowded wide receiver rooms. So in a weekly perspective, or at some point during the year, let's say week 8 on, he plays like a baller, I kind of like JSN there. But I would have to say, in general, I think Pickens is probably the safest choice out of all of them. JSN goes quite a bit higher, though, so you got to think about cost of entry and whether you can draft JSN and still get Pickens later. I'm by no means saying draft Pickens over JSN. JSN's got a higher ADP. But like if a push comes to shove in a vacuum, who do I think is gonna probably the best season? I'd say Pickens. I think Pickens could be a top 12 wide receiver, top 12 to 15 wide receiver. That means he's either gonna be the very last wide receiver 1 in fantasy football or a super high end wide receiver 2. There's a range there, so it's not like I'm guaranteeing him to be wide receiver 12. I'm saying 12 to 15, meaning he could dance with the top 12, and then maybe he levels out at the end at 15, 14, whatever. Dotson could be the same thing. There's a little bit more, I'd say, ambiguity going on in that Washington offense, and then you still got McLaurin. I think Dotson will win out, but there's still a little bit of ambiguity, so it's one of those things where like you're hopeful that he plays as well as Pickens, and he certainly could and should. JSN feels like the I don't know, safest of all of them, but with some concern of what happens in the beginning of the year. So probably Pickens, JSN, Dotson. Love all 3, bro. Love all 3.
Dotson 1.
Yeah, and redraft, they're on ESPN. They're all going like 8, 9 rounds. 8 or 9.
Well, let me just say this. JSN's going in round 5 on Underdog Fantasy. So
yeah, that's why it's kind of hard to decide on.
If you throw him into the round 8 territory, he's a home run. Just absolute league-winning home run. Pickens is a home run in 8. Dotson's a home run in 8. JSN's a home run in 8. All 3 of them are home runs in 7. I wouldn't hesitate even to draft them around early on ESPN just to ensure I get 2 of them. You know, draft one of them in 7 and draft one of them right where his ADP is and land 2 of those 3 bad boys. There's a reason that, and quite honestly, JSN's on the midseason monsters, and I think I very badly want to put him on the Moon Man list, but the beautiful part about midseason monsters is this is telling you that, and Herbert's not like held into a place where he can't be a Moon Man all season long from the jump, but there's still some question about how much workload will he get right away until he's anointed the lone starter, because Chicago's made it pretty clear in the offseason at least that they're going to run some multiple running back situations out there. So Herbert is a midseason monster that could be Moon Man material from the jump. But JSN, the thing that's beautiful about the midseason monsters is this is telling you that these 4 guys will play like Moon Men at some point during the season, probably maybe right before midseason or at midseason, and play that way for the remainder of the season. So it's a beautiful way of highlighting Moon Men potential guys without having to throw them on the Moon Men list and have them sit there and ferment for 4, 5, 6 weeks and have people get frustrated and cut them. Kenneth Walker might have been a midseason monster last year had I had that list. I think I still would have had him on the Moon Man list to prove this point that he's going to win leagues and be an absolute beast. But I probably would have also had him on the midseason monster list to set an expectation and deliver a message that he could take a little while. Be patient with them. So if you have one of these midseason monsters on your team, you have to understand it could take a little bit of time for them to get on their horse and deliver the amount of value that they will eventually deliver. And so get excited about these guys. They're absolutely phenomenal. What else do you got, Farb? And then I'm going to, is this Farb or Bobby? This is Bobby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bobby, what else you got? And then I'm jumping over to Chris.
My last question I had was, if Ridley falls down to the 4th, are you taking Ridley over Fields and Burrow and hoping they drop to 5? Or...
Yeah, that's a tough one. Let's pull this up on the chart here. Let's pull this up here on the chart. Okay, so you're saying
Ridley drops to 4.
Okay, Ridley to 4. Let me take Fields off here. And so let's just say you have Bijan, Olave, Gibbs, and then you have to choose between Ridley and Fields and Burrow. I'm taking Ridley without a hesitation.
Yep.
The reason being is I'm wearing a shirt right now of a man that bathes his hair in milk, and his hair grows about 6 feet long, and he has to disguise it in his helmet. But he's got this mane that's unbelievable that he soaks in milk. He'll be there. He'll be there for you if you need it. I think I would roll the dice 1,000% that I get Fields or Burrow here in 5. And if not, I take the Law Dog a little bit earlier than I want to just to ensure I get him. I've even taken him in the 5th round just to make sure. But if you get Law Dog and Ridley together, not that you get extra points in non-best ball for the stack, but it's a fun stack to own. It's a stack I'm fine with. This would win you a league. Ridley is so good in round 4, it will win you a league. If you were to pull the trigger on, let's say, a Fields here, and in round 5 you get London, you're still winning your league. It's still a wonderful formula, and you're not botching anything by going Fields or Burrow here. I just want you to first know that. If you end up doing it and you're like, I should have listened, it's an unbelievable approach. Both of them, bro. But
let me ask you this: what about Fields or Burrow over Walker in 5? If you landed Ridley in 4.
Well, first of all, how are you spending your money is the first question I'd ask you. Okay, so where's Walker at? I got to find Walker and put it. Walker, please step forward. Walker, please report to the front office here. Here he is. Walker in 5, and then you get to 6, and Law Dog sitting there. I don't know where my Law Dog graphic is. He's somewhere around here. There he is. Look at that beautiful mane. I can see it from a mile away. Here's Law Dog. So you tell me, hey, chat, tell me in the chat. And then I got some super chats I got to get to, and then I got to go over to Chris. Chris, I'm so sorry about the wait. I'm getting to you. Just hang tight. You're going to be next on the phone line. Can I get drop the amount of fire emojis that you feel is appropriate to signify whether this team's winning you a championship, okay? We prefer you use a certain amount of flair here to the degree of like 5 or 6 fire emojis. We encourage the use of more flair. So can we drop some emojis, fire emojis, to represent, if you think it's only fire, 1 emoji, drop 1 fire emoji, and that means you don't like it very much. I want how many fire emojis equal your belief in this team winning a championship. Because I have a feeling that the whole screen's going to light up red, and you're not even going to be able to see me based on the reflection of the orange and red and yellow fire emojis that are about to light up my screen right now. This right here is an absolute league-winning monster of a team. I don't know how you couldn't win with this team. I don't know what would have to happen. You could lose one of these guys and still win your league. This is one of the most sick rosters you could possibly build, and it's because you're making good decisions at each gateway, each checkpoint. Okay, you made a decision because you had this here waiting for you. And even if you missed out on the Law Dog, you still got plenty of opportunity to come in and grab a whole bunch of other players. What in the hell is this, Garrett? What in the hell is this? You have to be out of your mind. You have to be out of your mind, Garrett, to come into this live chat. Read the room, Garrett. Read the room. Take in the fire. You just got melted. Your frozen emojis just got melted. How in the hell are you going to put 6 ice cold freezing emojis to this team right in front of you? This team would take any team you could assemble to school. In fact, I bet you, Garrett, I could give you one of those bar sheets where you check mark any player you want. You can pick any 3 wide receivers in the league, any 2 running backs in the league, any quarterback you want in the league, and this team would rival that team you could assemble. Garrett, what in the hell are you talking about? Garrett, the phone line's open. I don't understand what is Garrett's even saying here. The phone line's open, Garrett. Dial in. And you better be serious, because if you're wasting my time, no phone line for you for 2 weeks. Let me get these super chats out of the way, fellas. I got a couple of $20 haulers that just dropped in. Garrett's working me up. I don't know what Garrett's even thinking. That's just unbelievable. G Money dropping a super chat, says Bijan at pick 8 in standard league over Chubb. Absolutely, because I'd take him at 1. G Money, I'd take Bijan at 1, 2, or 3. He's not slipping past number 3, let alone 1, 2, or 3. The Smitty, wide awake here. Okay, 10-team PPR redraft, 1 keeper options, and round as follows. Chase round 2, Fields, Walker round 5, Lawrence round 6. 1 keeper, I'm probably going to go, so round 2, Fields, Walker, round 5, Lawrence. I'm sorry, no, Fields, Walker, round 5, right? Okay, so Chase round 2, Fields, Walker, round 5. I go probably Fields. Well, that's tough because none of those, like Fields goes in round 4, 5. Walker goes in round 4, 5. Lawrence goes in round 6. Chase goes in round 1. The only one that's really out of place is Chase. I'd probably take Chase round 2 because everything else is kind of more par for the course. So as much as it feels like you need to go those other names, they're not that far. They're not cemented into amazing keeper values. Like I love Fields. Obviously, he's a top 1 to 5 quarterback, but he's getting drafted in 4 or 5. So give me Jamar Chase. Great question, though. And for a moment had me hesitating, but at the end of the day, you look at that and you can clearly see that Chase is the one that's going to probably win you the league. James dropping a $10 hauler. All $10 haulers get moonshots. I see my $20 haulers. I'm coming for you. Hang tight. I'm coming for you. Where was I? Which page was I on? 330 of you in here. Please punch that thumb up. James says draft in 2 weeks, 1.1 in a 14-team PPR. Running back goes historically early, going Bijan or Chase. I'm going to go Bijan if that's the case, my guy. But that's me. I'm different than the average bear. But if RB is going to fly off the board, then who at the 2-3 turn? I love Garrett Wilson in a 14-teamer in your second overall draft selected spot, or in a 14-teamer you have back-to-backs. So you take Garrett Wilson, and I doubt Pollard's there because the running backs are flying off the board. He goes by like 12 to 14 anyway. St. Brown and Garrett Wilson might get nudged down if you're telling me the RBs are going to get just, consumed, but it's a 14-teamer, so probably not. Olave, I'd say Olave. I wouldn't be scared to even go quarterback there because I believe in this setting, you're going to probably see a lot of the guys you want dry up because it's 14-teamer. So I'd go Ridley. So I could go Bijan, Ridley, Gibbs, Bijan, Gibbs, Olave, Bijan, Gibbs, quarterback. Either one of those would work for me. Thomas dropping a $2 says, am I going Bijan at 1.1 and 12-man, 2 flex running back? Yeah, I mean, I would. I personally would. Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate you. I don't mind going any of the 2 wide receivers, though. $20 hauler by Dallas.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Thank you, Dallas. Appreciate you dropping that $20 wad on the screen. You're a man. You are the man, the myth, the legend. No Smitty available. No Smitty available super chat. No Smitty available super chat. What's that mean, Dallas? What are we talking about there? And appreciate your super chat, my guy. You are the man. I'm going to put this in the corner so that I can figure out what it is you're saying there. But thank you so much. Logan dropping a $5 rank. Round 1, Kelsey. Round 2, Mahomes. Rank round 1, Kelsey. Round 2, Mahomes. Oh, rank the team because that's what you drafted. Logan, I love it. It's a great team. It's such a nice way to draft this year because of go watch my Kelsey video. The running back and wide receiver positions are so deep that you could assemble a team that sounds a lot like this. Kelsey, Mahomes, Gibbs, or Etienne. Let's just say let's say Kelsey is 5, so you're picking middle of 2, so you go Mahomes. So middle of 3, if you don't get Gibbs, you get Etienne, you get Najee, you get whoever you want to go a little early at RB if you need to secure that RB, or if you want to go Ridley and then go Walker. That's probably the best approach. I'd say that would be the best team. To assemble a team off the top of my head for you, pal, thank you for your super chat. This is the team that I think would be ideal for you. So you go Kelsey, Mahomes, Gibbs if you can get him, and if not, Ridley. And Walker. And if, let's say you got Gibbs here, you could probably go Watson here. But that right there is a phenomenal team. Kelsey, Mahomes, Ridley, Walker, I would literally walk straight to the bank. Straight to the bank. Let me put this caller on hold here. 405 caller, who is this and where are you calling from?
From New York.
Chris from New York. Okay, I got Chris from New York. Chris, aren't you already on the phone line, Chris from New York?
Yeah. Scott. To hold on.
Oh, no, yeah, Chris, you're still on hold. Hold on one second. I'm putting this caller on 405. Sorry, Chris, that's my bad. I don't have a phone. I don't have a phone person, so I'm doing everything by myself here. So we got a new 405 caller. That's probably what it was. So this is a New York person as well. And what's your name, pal?
Chris. Scott from Norman.
Scott. Okay. All right. Let me go to Chris because Chris has been waiting so long.
I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, it's not your fault, Chris. From New York. Chris from New York, you're live. Let's not keep him waiting.
Okay. Well, I love the show. It's
show
a
loves
blast, you. Man. You're excellent.
You're excellent. The show loves you.
I'm in 12-team PPR, 20 rounds, a keeper. You can keep it. So I'm holding Ridley for 15. I picked him up at the last week of the year, and I can use my 15th round to hold him, which is, a good start, I think. And you can also trade draft picks. So I've acquired 3 first-round picks. And the route I'm thinking about going, since I got the number 2 pick, is I want to take Bijan, of course. And at 5, I'm considering Kelsey or Tyreek Hill. Which one would you? I have also the 11th pick, but I was thinking going wide receiver there, somebody like a CD Lamb, the Sun God, or somebody like that, A.J. Brown, Wilson.
Look, it's preference. I mean, there's a lot of people that tell you Tyreek Hill, but as I just alluded to with my best picks in every round, I had Kelsey as a guy I identified in round 1. So the answer you're going to get out of me is Kelsey. He's a top 5 overall player.
That's what I've been leaning towards. But the way I looked at it is like when you look at him like averagely though over the year, like he was like the number 7 wide receiver. Like he's excellent. You got a position fucking advantage, but still I can get like a top 2 wide receiver there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do believe that I do believe that there's an argument to be made that Hill, is on the same level, so to speak. But again, it comes down to like I think I can replace Hill easier than I can replace Kelsey. In fact, I know it just from what you said.
I think that's why I was saying when I had Ridley and I took like a CD Lamb or a Sun God to go with Ridley.
Yeah.
Kind of make up
Ridley,
for it,
Ridley could outscore Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying you draft that way. I'm not saying you bank on it, but Ridley has the ability to be a top 1 to 5 wide receiver.
Well, I held him in the anticipation of him. If he was a top 12, I would be a 12 to 20.
So Kelsey by far. All right, hang tight real quick. I'm going to come back to you, Chris. I'm going to go to Scott in a second. Scott, hang tight. Dakota Dave after that. But let me get the super chat out. This is a $20 hauler from Overcome.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Thank you, Overcome. Appreciate you dropping that wad on screen. He says rank. Oh, no, wait. I didn't even put Overcome super chat up. Hold on. Let me find it. Overcome super chat is as follows. Overcome, appreciate you, my guy. Overcome is such a monster. He's been here for a long, long time, and I just can't thank him enough. I love Overcome. Overcome says, I feel responsible to take Bijan 3 overall in my favorite league because my friends might pull a grandma move and let him fall to the middle of the second round. Yeah, I don't think I'd take the risk, man. All it takes is one person to get excited, watch the wrong show like this show, which would AKA be the right show, and just get excited about him. I don't think you're going to find 11 other guys where not one of them's going to get cute about Bijan, bro. I have a league that I feel like is got decent, it's decently competitive. I like you guys always want to say I'm in a competitive league. It's the nature of anybody who want to defend their ability to draft. But there are people I don't think that are as in tune. They're not watching his stuff year round, and he still would not slip. There's no way he's going to slip past, 10 in that setting, I don't think. So I just would take the best guy. Don't play too many games, Overcome, when it comes to getting a player that's going to win you a league. You know what I mean? I'd take Bijan at 3 regardless of what I believe people are thinking, because I can't read the minds of everybody all the way straight down the board. There's just no way. I'm not passing on it. If anything, you just trade down a little bit if you can't Overcome, but I definitely wouldn't pass on Bijan on some kind of creative scheme. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're just going to regret it when another person owns Bijan in your league. You're going to be so pissed off, bro, all year long. Bobby dropping the fire, talking about this squad right in front. Isaac dropping a super chat, says, missed my $5 hauler earlier. Let's see here. Isaac, did I miss your... Isaac. No, I didn't. I just was a little behind. I was just a little behind, Isaac. Okay, I'm sure you see my response. But yeah, Jamar Chase is the answer. I know I got a lot going on here, so some people expect the super chat to get hit immediately, and sometimes I do that. And in fact, let's do that moving forward. I will hit it as soon as the super chat comes in. So drop a super chat if you want, and let's test it out. Oh, here comes one right now. And then I'm going to go over to Scott after the super chat. So hang tight, Scott. This is a $5 hauler. Bold prediction. Tank Dell is top 20-25 wide receiver. Gibbs is top 3 to 4. Kincaid is top 3. And Olave is top 5. And T-Law is top 4. I can concur on all those counts as being in the realm of extreme possibility, Matthew. And for that, you are Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Okay, and B-Boy just became a YouTube exclusive member to the moon. If you guys want to become YouTube exclusive members, all you got to do is visit this link right here. I'm going to drop it in the live chat. You can support the channel, get a green name, have access to all the emojis. Can I get everybody to drop some of the custom emojis right now so that people that are not YouTube exclusive members, in the link right there I just dropped to become one, can see how many amazing emojis there are out there. All right, now we go over to Scott from... where was it, Scott? What state are you calling from? What state?
Norman, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, okay. I don't know why I thought... Earlier when I said the 405, whatever area code that is, we had Chris from New York kept saying, oh, I'm Chris. So I thought you had the same area code or something like that. Okay, so you're from Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
What can I do for you? Hello? Scott?
Smitty? Yes, I'm here.
Please hold for Smitty.
Okay.
Hey Scott, you're back on the air live. What's up, pal?
Hey Smitty, new subscriber, always a hidden like on YouTube.
Attaboy.
Love your show.
Scott, the show loves you more than you know. The show loves you more than you know.
I've been watching recently, and I've noticed your Moon Men, your Mars Men. I think I have a few of them on my team. I play in one league. I'm an old fantasy football guy. My first draft pick was Warren Moon. 1990.
Hey, I played back then too, pal. I played back then too, believe it or not. And
it's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. I used to be a commissioner. But anyway, I'm in a 12-team Superflex, no trades. But I really like my team. I wanted to get your opinion on it. And I think you've influenced it a lot.
Okay.
Because I I'm trying to figure out a way to send you a screenshot of the team.
Well, just read it to me. I got a marker board, pal. We can take care of this. Just read it as fast as you can, so we can get this the show on the road. Hit me with it. Go.
Okay, my first 3 picks were gold. Cooper Kupp. I picked 10th out of 12, and I took Cooper Kupp. He slid all the way.
Okay.
And usually I take a quarterback. I'm on St. Brown, second pick, and third pick was Trevor Lawrence.
Is this a 1 QB league?
I wanted to get Herbert on the way back. He got snaked. One pick before me.
Hold on. Before I send you on a lap, or put you on the mantle of monster drafters, it's going one way or the other. This call is either going toward you taking a lap, or you're going to be an absolute legend. Is this a 2 QB league?
I'd rather be a legend.
Okay, is this a 2 QB league?
Yeah. Superflex.
You've just been
no trade.
approved.
You scared.
That's why I got into it.
You scared me there for a second, bro. You scared me there for a second because you started talking about Herbert in round 4 and T. The reason you scared me is T Law. Where's my screen? What screen am I? Oh, tape. Okay, here we go. The reason I said that is T Law is way too late for the 3rd round. Like this, to me, this screamed that you're in a 1 QB league. So when you said you took T-Law in the 3rd round in a 1 QB league, I was about to kick you out the phone line, and here you tell me you're a legend because you're drafting him in the 3rd round. So, okay.
I got him. I might have gotten him in the 2nd round. I guess I got St. Brown in the 3rd round.
All right, so you're looking
and Garrett Wilson in the 4th round.
Okay, well, hey, you're still a legend. That's awesome. So T-Law,
it's been a fun ride.
Garrett Wilson. You're acting like the ride's over. We're still on the ride, pal. It was a fun ride.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So who is your 4th and 5th pick, and then I got to jump around to the other callers.
Okay. I wanted Herbert, but he got snaked 1 pick in front of me, so I took Garrett Wilson, and I just put a quarterback off. I punted on second quarterback because I had Trevor Lawrence. I ended up with Tannehill way later as my second quarterback. And this is kind of why I called in. Because I'm trying to get a 3rd quarterback for bye weeks. And right now I'm stuck on Minshew. I have 3 possibles: David Mills and Kyle Trask. Mills and Trask are in a competition. Minshew has been named the 2nd string.
Can I give you something to keep an eye on it? And I gotta jump to other callers. I'll swing back to you because this call is a little bit long. I'll say this: if I'm you, and if I'm any of you out there that are struggling, in massive fashion at your Superflex 2, this is not a comfortable move. I'm telling you right now, people are gonna make fun of it. It's gonna feel awkward. It's gonna feel like it's not gonna work out. But I truly believe Mac Jones, and I hate to say this for all my Patriot fans out there, I think Mac Jones is going to just fall completely on his face. And so Zappy and Cunningham together, Malik Cunningham, might be the craftiest preparation move you can make for a team that has no 2nd quarterback and you start 2 quarterbacks. So
I've kind of considered that already, Smitty.
Yeah. All right,
but Zappy, not Cunningham. I just started hearing good things about Cunningham.
Right, but you need to grab both because Zappy might be in the lineup at first. And Zappy's okay. I'm not saying he's a world beater or anything like that. You're not going to see him on World Stars.
Might be hard to do for me because I punted my kicker already to make room for Kyle Trask.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I just cut Kyle Trask, and then problem solved. So, hey, hang tight real quick. Don't cut Tannehill. You kind of need him right now. But I do think that Malik Cunningham.
I'm not cutting Tannehill.
All right. Hang tight. Put yourself on mute real quick, Scott. Appreciate you. Let's go over to Dakota Dave. You're live.
Hey, Smitty. Thanks for the Kelsey video.
You what?
Awesome. Thank you for the Kelsey video.
Oh, yeah. You bet, bro. Appreciate you.
Been looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I got a question. What do you think, Kelsey and Walker, or Bijan and Darren Waller?
Kelsey and Walker. Give that to me one more time. Kelsey and Walker?
Yeah, Kelsey. Yeah, Ken Walker.
Okay.
And Bijan first round, and then Darren Waller.
This is your team, or you're just saying trade?
No, I'm asking your preference for drafting.
Oh, Bijan Waller?
Yeah, Darren Waller.
Okay, so I get what you're saying. Okay. Kelsey and Walker, right? Or Bijan and Waller. That is tough. I'm going to lean Walker and Kelsey if you get Charbonnet. It's just got more bang for the buck. But it doesn't mean that, like, I mean, it's a tough question because ultimately I am drafting Bijan, you know. But the thing about it is, the reason this has put me in a box is I'm still going to probably draft Walker on this team. You know what I mean? But if you're telling me that if I have Kelsey and Walker, I can't own Walker on the Bijan team, then I'm going to pick the Kelsey Walker side. But truly, I think you can still accomplish this by, you know, drafting this. So I don't know that it necessarily moves me away from Bijan. You know what I'm saying? But in that question, I will say Kelsey. Kind of a trick question.
If I did go Bijan and Walker, what would you recommend for tight end later on?
Okonkwo, Cole Kmet, Dalton Kincaid. Those are three guys I've identified to become they're outside the top 10. One of them could be a top 5 tight end this year.
And you, what do you think about how risky it is to go with Okonkwo or Kincaid as starter?
Well, if you have both of them, I think it's not that risky because you could start Okonkwo at the jump, wait on Kincaid patiently because there's no telling how soon he'll pop off. I think Kincaid will be on the waiver wire pickup list for weeks 1, 2, 3 potentially because people are so fickle and they're not going to understand. Right. I mean, same thing with Walker. Kenneth Walker last year, wait on him. Draft him in round 7, 8, 9, 10. People are getting him in like 9 and 10 all the time, and I couldn't even wait that long. Kenneth Walker, I never let him fall past like 7 or 8. I couldn't do it. I just was sitting there going, what if someone gets cute and takes him from me in 9? And people are getting him in 9 left and right. But what happened, bro? People cut Walker after week 1 in droves. They didn't listen. They didn't listen at all. I don't know why they didn't listen, but they didn't listen. And so I have a feeling people are going to do the same damn thing. The same damn thing with Dalton Kincaid. And it's going to be great, though. It's great because then there's content and not to mention opportunity for all of you to go get him off waivers. But maybe he blows up in week 1, too. He could blow up in week 1. But to answer your question, Okonkwo is pretty safe, bro. Okonkwo, Kincaid paired together.
Really, you think?
Oh, yeah. Bro, Okonkwo is a really, really, really good player, bro. Okonkwo is
Oh, yeah. You know, I was thinking more just about volume. I know his per route was off the chart.
Yeah, and they design plays for him. Absolutely. And Cole Kmet. Cole Kmet's no slouch either. You know, there are in best ball. I own I have a ton of teams with all 3 of them. All right, hey Dakota.
Yeah, this is going to be redraft.
Yeah, okay, Dakota, hang tight. Don't go anywhere. The Isaac, appreciate you, my guy, for dropping that. The Isaac, Brofist Isaac. I don't know where Brofist Brad is. He's originally getting those fist pumps. Thank you, Isaac. Appreciate you. Overcome, absolutely appreciate you. Overcome says, need to veto the Popo emoji back.
King 25, code 428. Dispatch veto Popo.
We got the veto Popo. Don't worry if you need it. Let's go open phone line. Who wants to speak? Who's got a topic that they want to kick off? Go.
Stay away from the Patriots. We're going to suck.
Stay away from the Patriots. Who said that?
Ozzy. I'm a Pats fan, but I don't really care for them. We had our time.
Yeah.
Mac Jones sucks.
Yeah, Bill Belichick is...
Stevenson will be okay, but yeah.
Stevenson could be okay, but he's definitely got some risk attached to his name this year.
I'm staying away from all the Pats. I'm just letting... I don't know. Like, he could be okay, but Zeke looks decent, so... I don't know.
I mean, if there is a player that we're saying now, oh, he's not going to go away. Come on. If there is a player in the 3rd round territory, 4th round, that could go away. Like, I'm not saying he will. I'm just saying, every year. I mean, think about this for a second. If anybody's going to say, "Come on, Smitty, Ramondre is going to be fine," and I love Ramondre. I was probably higher on him than really any channel you could find last year. And during the preseason, his rookie year, I was so on board. Ramondre Stevenson is an absolute monster in the making, or was a monster in the making, and is currently a full-fledged monster. But look at JT last year. And let me put this caller 561. Who's this? You're live on the show. Where are you calling from, and what's your name, pal?
Los Angeles.
Kerry from Los Angeles. Kerry, I'm going to put you on hold. If you mute real quick, I'll come to you in a second, and appreciate you calling in. So Kerry from LA. Okay, got you here. So all I'm saying is JT was a player that was the number 1 overall player. Everybody's like, there's no way he's going away. And there was a lot of chatter by about, I'd say, like 30% of the fantasy community that would say he was the poorest version of a running back 1 that we've ever seen for a long time. Like, his being the number 1 running back the year he was the number 1 running back was a very, very low running back 1 production season. It was like the lowest in the last handful of years for being the top running back. Like, it was kind of like underwhelming. Like, in another season where there was better production, JT wouldn't have been the running back 1. So walking into, that season, everybody would say things like, maybe 30% of the fantasy population would be like, maybe he's not, a top 5 running back. And there'd be people that go, come on, get out of here. As if it wasn't possible, as if there wasn't a world where that existed. All I'm saying is Stevenson, he has that vibe of maybe he's okay, but there's a chance that he just vanishes, in terms of fantasy production. I don't know. I like him a lot. He's a PPR gem, but there's certainly risk involved, and the Patriots don't feel super reliable right now. They just don't. They don't. As the Colts are the same way. I like Anthony Richardson to some degree, especially in Superflex, but I don't know that I in redraft will draft a single Colt player ever except for Anthony Richardson. Even Alec Pierce. I like Alec Pierce, but in Pittman, but they're not. I don't feel consistency's coming in 2023. I think Anthony Richardson's vulturing from JT. JT's not even healthy. JT's struggling with 2 injuries. JT is at odds with his organization. They're moving on without him right now as we speak, and cultivating this new scheme around the quarterback without JT. What are people thinking? Predicting JT to be worth a top 40 overall pick. He's not. Could he work out? Yeah, he could. I'm not taking that gamble when I'm sitting there looking at Gibbs. Kenneth Walker goes in round 4 or 5, and he's better than JT this year. Okay, real quickly. I don't know if I answered whatever question was posed, but let's go to Kerry from LA, and then we'll open up the phone line again to whoever has the loudest voice. Kerry, you're live. I appreciate you calling in, pal.
Hey, Smitty. First call. Pretty excited here.
Yeah.
And really loving the show. I'm in a funky league. I'm in a 14-team dynasty with 7 keepers, and you can keep them for however you want. So essentially, the first round is going to be rookie. The rookies are super valuable. So I'm gonna try and go Kincaid in the first at the 106, and in the second, it's basically rookies and a couple leftovers. But my question for you is, of Sky Moore and Elijah Moore, if they fall, and I know everything's best player available, of course, but if those 2 fall, which do you think are really good for the long run?
For the long run, so we're talking like handfuls of years, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to go Sky because I don't, as much as I like Elijah Moore, there's a lot more moving parts involved, and a lot of what Elijah Moore's values tied to is kind of up in the air anyway. Like with Watson, where's Watson at 2 years from now? Elijah Moore has a track record, even though it's one team, but a beginning potentially of moving around. That's kind of the way that happens sometimes. A player doesn't fit in somewhere. He moves on. He has the feel to where he could maybe settle, but it could also be a journeyman type career that he has coming on. And Sky is in arguably the best offense in the National Football League, and was just anointed a starting role that can't be taken away based on Tony being in and out of the lineup. He's not contingent on Tony being in and out of the lineup. He is a starter. And the fact that you can cuff him to Tony pretty easily, this right here is arguably one of the craftiest wide receiver 3 options in 2023 if you can cuff them together, especially in best ball, because you don't have to make any decisions. The highest scoring one plays for you. But this is a very crafty move, and I'd rather have Sky over Elijah Moore. Even though I like Elijah Moore from a redraft perspective, I might argue Elijah Moore. But from a dynasty or keeper perspective, give me the guy that just secured the starting job on a Patrick Mahomes team that has no secured other player in the lineup really, except for Tony, and he's often injured. So this is a pretty easy call long term for me.
And do you think like that once Kelsey, further on the line gets phased out, that this is the guy? Or
no, I mean Tony might be, but Sky Moore's in the offense though. Tony could be the number one there, but Sky's still going to be relevant. So Elijah Moore's got to beat out Cooper. Elijah Moore's got to stay healthy. Watson's got to deliver. Elijah Moore's got to stay put and develop, and so. I'm going with Sky Moore. Not to mention, look, wide receivers changing teams isn't always a smooth transition either. So Elijah Moore is no lock to be consistent or jump out the gate. I do like Elijah Moore from a redraft perspective. I can make an argument for either one. From a dynasty perspective, it's Sky Moore all day.
Yep. Okay, well, that makes sense.
All right. Yeah, you can hang on the line if you want. Travis, you're live. My guy, Travis.
Hey, Smitty.
What's up?
What's up? Just Elijah Moore. Do you think is it just because Watson you're a little doubtful of him, or do you think
you're cutting in and out, Travis?
Right. Can you hear me now?
We can barely hear you. Try it again.
How about now?
Yeah, let's try it. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Try calling back in, Travis. It's cutting out. Call right back. All right, let's go over to Bobby real quick. Bobby, you're live. Bobby, hello. Scotty, you're live, Scott.
Hey, Smitty.
What else you got, Scott?
Have some other questions.
All right, hit me with one at a time, because no offense, Scott. I mean this in all.
I hear you.
Your questions are long-winded, so let's go one at a time. Go ahead, Scott. Ask me one.
Okay. I loaded up on running backs after that. Zay Jones, though, is my 4th wide receiver. I hear you talking up Calvin Ridley. I'm all in on Calvin Ridley, but I don't have him. I have Zay. Is that the next best thing?
Well, I'm wearing the shirt of a man named T. Law, the Law Dog, the absolute, milkman, the milkman. How many children has this man fathered, the milkman? Because he's got the ladies all over. The ladies love this man and his big, long, glorious mane. And the milkman, a.k.a. father of fantasy football, is able to
got married last year.
Okay, he can facilitate all over the field, bro. He's going to throw for 38 to 40 touchdowns, in my opinion, in 2020. Let's call it 35 to 40. Let's be conservative.
I'm
Caleb
happy to have him. And you see the influence you've had on this team. I have Breece Hall also as one of my 8 running backs.
That's a fantastic move. But here's the thing about this wide receiver room. I think Ridley dominates it. I think Ridley's consistent. And I think that Kirk is going to be – he's such a trusted option for T-Law. Kirk is going to be steady, and he's going to be very, very good still. I think Zay's the most up and down player, so he's going to get you a very, very bad amount of points one week and come back and do really well. The question is going to be, are you going to have Zay in the lineup at the right time? So he will be kind of a frustrating owner or a player to own, because – he is like a mini Deebo Samuel, and he'll be kind of hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. but I really, really like him. If you're in a bind, he's a great wide receiver 4-5 if you went heavy RB and all that. But you have to be careful. You know, if you've got better options that are more consistent, Zay is probably not going to be ultra consistent. Kirk and Ridley will lead that wide receiver room, and Ingram will too.
Maybe I have some breaking news for you. Zay is, when they're running two receiver sets, Zay is opposite of Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
Kirk is the odd man out.
Well, Kirk's not going to – Kirk, as long as Kirk's healthy, he's going to be better than Zay. I mean, that's just facts, man.
Look, I've heard big things about Camp and Zay and making all the plays, and he's getting $25 million.
I'm not telling you Zay's not going to be good. I'm just saying that he will be probably third fiddle of the wide receivers because he'll be up and down. Kirk is most certainly the most likely number 2 there. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I just told you Zay's great 4, 5, 6. I'm just telling you, if you could draft Kirk or Zay, you better say Kirk, because Kirk is definitely in.
I hear you, Smitty.
Yeah. Okay.
But what I'm hearing is Zay is the second wide receiver when they're running two wide receiver sets out on the field.
I hear you. Okay.
Kirk
Scott
is the odd man out.
Okay, Scott, hang tight. We'll come back. Get your other question loaded and ready to go. Let's go over to Travis one more time and check out Travis's connection.
Can you hear me any better?
I can hear you, Travis. Go ahead.
All right. Two guys that I know you weren't very high on. I've always kind of liked them, but you've been a little more down on them. Daniel Jones and James Cook. Has anything changed for you on them?
Daniel Jones and James Cook. Those are actually, you're correct, 2 players that I haven't talked up a lot. Let me hit this $20 hauler while it's here. Hold on 1 second.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Appreciate the $20 hauler. J-Bone dropping it. Says, Smitty, having trouble with my keeper this year. I have first pick, 10-man league, half PPR. My choices are A.J. Brown for a 3rd, Rashad White for 11th, and T-Law for a 10th, Goddard for a 7th. Any thoughts on that? I'd probably say A.J. Brown for a 3rd probably feels best, because it's not like and I don't mean this in a bad way, it's just, it is what it is. I'm not sure those are the best options because they're not that far away from their ADP value. But because A.J. Brown can be argued as a 12, 13 turn player, like a very bottom of round 1, or some would say like 10 overall, I think 3rd round value is pretty good, especially depending on where your pick is. You have the first pick. So 3rd round, that's tough, bro, because that's a 3.1. He gets shoved right into 3.1. I don't know if you can trade your 3rd rounder down, J-Bone. Like, get a swap where your 4th rounder or move your 5th rounder up into round 4 or something by moving somebody from your 3.1 down to their 3.12 or something like that. That way you're getting something by inserting A.J. Brown into your 3rd round spot. Does that make sense? Call in if you need to discuss this further into the phone line, J-Bone. Appreciate you very much, but A.J. Brown's a very nice 3rd round pick. I would try and take advantage of moving him around. And Pierce says, Bijan looking good. I bet all the petrified Peters were going crazy seeing Algier with the first snap. Maybe, and maybe Pierce, you're right. This whole notion that he looked amazing, maybe people are taking away something that they're trying to, find an excuses to get down on Bijan. Who knows? All right, Travis, to answer your question, James Cook and Danny Dimes, those are your 2 players. It's not so much that I don't like these guys. I don't think I've ever said a bad thing about them. If you go back and watch any of the stuff, it's just I'm not high on them. So I think you worded it properly. But it's not that I don't like James Cook. It's just where he's going. I typically have 10 or 12 players still that I like over James Cook every time. So it's not like if he fell a round or 2, if the line in the sand dropped, then he would flip to value to me. Whereas right now, I mean, where are you seeing him go? Where is James Cook typically going for you when you're talking about this?
I'd have to look. He's kind of going in I don't know, maybe that's 3rd tier guys, maybe I don't know, Dobbins, Miles Sanders, maybe a little lower. I don't know if he's moved up since the preseason.
Let me pull up the underdog Let me pull up the underdog ADP rankings real quick.
80 on underdog.
Okay, let me pull up the underdog rankings, and we'll go through it right now live on the show here. Hold on one second. Let me pull it up. Let me get this on the screen here, and we can discuss it. So here is the underdog ranking right here. If I can get my freaking phone to show up, then I can handle this. One second.
And while you're doing that, the thing with Danny Dimes is I just really trust Brian Daboll, and then Danny Dimes can run on top of it, and it seems like he's kind of become a little bit better of a passer each year. So that was just my question with him. And you can almost get him as a second quarterback.
I hear that, yeah, and I'll get to that. I'll get to that one. Let me hit this one first and say that okay. So here are the underdog fantasy rankings, and let me just minimize this slightly. Okay, so here are the. If I could grab this, 1 second. Okay, here are the running back rankings. Okay, so when we look at James Cook is right here. So above him is Javonte, and not that far above him, we're talking about an ADP of 80.4 comparatively to a 76.2. So I'm taking Javonte over James Cook 1,000 times out of 1,000. Now, granted, Javante's 2 draft slots ahead. Monty, I'd probably take Monty over James Cook 8 or 9 times out of 10. And then if we go below James Cook, so James Cook's, let me put James Cook at the top here so that I don't have to keep expanding it there to highlight it. So James Cook here at running back. What running back is this? It's like, so how many are on there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Do they give you, I forget if they tell you, 15. So this is 30, 29. So it looks like he's like about like running back 27. Does it tell me in here? I don't think it does. I think he's about like running back 25 to 27, something like that. So let's put James Cook at the top.
25.
Yeah. So Swift is 2 running back slots below him, smash. Kamara, 3 running backs below him, smash. Rashad White, pretty close, but I'd take Rashad White. Pacheco, smash. I take Pacheco all day long. Khalil Herbert, give me Khalil Herbert over James Cook. So that's just a lot of players. And the fact that Pacheco's going 90 and Kamara's going 84 and James Cook's going 80, I almost never, ever, ever am sitting there on the clock without one of those ballers sitting there right in front of them. And that's why I own 0 shares on Underdog Fantasy out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of drafts because Kamara's sitting there for the taking, and Kamara looks like a freaking monster. He may be a planet Uranus, planet a.k.a. Uranus man.
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
But he's still an unbelievable value. So there's that. And then, as for
just the draft area.
Okay. And as for Danny Dimes, he's QB 15 to 17, let's say. Aaron Rodgers is below Danny Dimes. Look at this. I'll put it right there. Give me Aaron Rodgers. I don't blame you for liking Danny Dimes more. He runs. I get it. Jordan Love is literally about 40 or so picks, depending on the data you look at, below Danny Dimes. Derek Carr right above Jordan Love. I like Aaron Rodgers. And it's not that I like a lot of players over Danny Dimes, but the fact that Aaron Rodgers, Derek Carr, and Jordan Love are 1,000%. One or two of them is guaranteed to be available when I'm on the clock to make this decision. That's why I don't draft Danny Dimes. So I hope that explains it. It's not hate. It's not hate. It's
no, it does. I was just curious on just your take, and just wondering what you think, like, their outlook for the season is, and if it was just because of that, because of where they drafted, there's just guys that you like more. Which I like most of those guys more as well, but I just kind of wanted your take.
Good question. Good question. Bijan looking good, says
right.
Pierce, and then we got this Andy dropping a $20 holler.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Andy dropping a $20 massive wad 10-team PPR Superflex Keeper League. I need help choosing 3 keepers. Smitty Watson round 17. Woo! Jared Goff 17. I mean, it's super flex, but nah, that's not exciting. James Cook round 17. I just explained probably why I'm not on board that train. ETN round 4, he kind of belongs in round 3, 4, so that's not. JK round 4, he doesn't even belong in round 4. JK's not even a 4th rounder, so that's horrible value. And Amari Cooper, that's like getting an upside down loan on a car. you get J.K. Dobbins in round 4. That's like walking into a car dealership and saying, I want that car right there. Roll $5,000 of my previous debt into this payment. Like, no way I'm taking J.K. in the 4th round. Amari Cooper round 10, not bad, but I don't love that. James Conner 13, okay. Pickens round 13. Love the Pickens round 13, but give me all day long Christian Watson, 17 round value. You keep 3 guys, so I'm saying Christian Watson, 17 is your number 1 keeper. George Pickens by far is your 2nd best keeper at round 13. And quite honestly, I'd probably just say give me ETN round 4 because you secure yourself that RB. No one can take it away from you. RBs probably get consumed really quickly in this format, I'd imagine. And that way, at least you're getting what you pay for in one of your running backs. And arguably, he could go 3rd round, so that's not horrible value. That's how I would roll with this. I hate that you're not keeping a quarterback, but you don't have any options that seem like amazing options to me. I'm sorry?
How important is it to keep to get Bigsby with ETN, do you think, Smitty?
Very important. Very important. I think
okay.
Yeah, I think it's probably like a top 10 handcuff. Yeah, I'm going to do a handcuff show, but probably top 10 to 12
close
handcuff.
To Charbonnet.
Yeah, a little bit less.
Charbonnet Walker.
A little bit less, but right up there because the thing is, if let's say a starter goes down, handcuffs are not always a must. Like Saquon Barkley,
right?
I'm not handcuffing Saquon Barkley. I just really don't care. Derrick Henry, I'm not handcuffing Derrick Henry. I know Spears looks pretty good. He's got 1 ACL. Let's not get too excited. He'll probably get hurt very quickly in this National Football League. But we're talking about Tank Bigsby going in there and not just replacing in mediocre fashion a starting running back role. We're talking about a guy that could be a top 10 running back per start. Charbonnet could go in and be a top 10 running back per start. There's a tier system of handcuffs, and Bigsby and Charbonnet are in tier 1. Deuce Vaughn's in tier 1. And I don't know what the pecking order is yet. I'll break it down in a video. But Deuce Vaughn is a tier 1 freaking handcuff. He's so exciting. This is why we talked him up, all off season. We did the video. I have it somewhere here where we celebrated this man calling his father and then getting on the phone line and then calling me, or I called him. Here it is. Hey, buddy. How's it going? It's going good. This is Smitty. My phone wasn't working. Looky here, man. You want to come to work with me on Sundays? I wouldn't mind that at all.
Mashed potatoes!
Probably not real footage, but you get my point. Deuce Vaughn has been a staple on this show in terms of those late stabs. Tank Dell, look, those are all guys. Tank Bigsby. So Bigsby is a class 1, tier 1 smash handcuff, must own, as is Charbonnet and Deuce Vaughn. Incoming handcuff video. In fact, let me write that down on the board so I remember to do that video.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Handcuff tiers. Okay. Let me go around the phone line here. Andy, appreciate your super chat. Dial in if you want as well. J-Bone, you too. Avi, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, I'm going to get out of here. Justin Fields to the moon. And it's going to be an epic fantasy season. Buckle up. 1 week at a time.
Yeah.
1 week at a time.
Justin Fields to the moon. Absolutely. 100%. Can't wait for it. Can't wait for the haters to come crying and crawling in and just saying, well, Fields is, maybe it's because, okay. I'm just going to go ahead and just back up in between the trees and pretend I never stood tall on this argument that Fields can't throw the football. This is Justin. This is Jalen Hurts 2023. Fields is Jalen Hurts. Learn about it, get behind it, or watch from afar, and you're going to cry in a little ball, holding yourself to sleep at night. 561 caller. Who is this and where are you calling from? What's your name? Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, a lot of people call me that.
Jake from State. What's up? Jake from Florida, a.k.a. State Farm. Do you mind if I put that on the phone line, Jake from State Farm? All right, Jake from State Farm. What's up, Jake?
Yeah, that's fine. All right, quick question. My draft is tomorrow, 14-team league, and you've made up my mind of drafting like Bijan 1 or 2, but after seeing the video today, I'm considering drafting Kelsey over Bijan, especially it being a 14-team league. And I've heard a lot of people saying like more teams, tight ends more valuable.
Yeah, I mean, bro, you can't go wrong either way. As much as I love Bijan, it is a world that we live in 2023 where walking away with Kelsey in round 1 does not leave you looking very light across running backs and wide receivers. There is no dead zone. People that talk about dead zone this year don't know what they're talking about. I've broken it down in so many videos. There's no wide receiver dead zone. There's no running back dead zone. There's no dead zone of any kind. And when people start saying that the dead zone's appearing, it's because the positions run out. That's called, no inventory. It has nothing to do with dead zone. But when we look at like a Tony Pollard in round 2, we look at Gibbs in round 3. We look at Walker in 4-5. We look at Charbonnet in 10-11 or 9-10-11. You look at Pacheco in 6-7, Swift in 6-7. There's so many running backs everywhere that you walk out with Kelsey in round number 1. You get Olave in 2. You get Gibbs in 3 as your RB1. You get Ridley in 4. Or even if you felt really uneasy about your running back situation because you went Kelsey, let me put Kelsey real quickly in this spot right here. You went Kelsey in round number 1. You went Olave in 2. You went Gibbs and Walker back to back just to make sure you felt comfortable. And then you get the Pickens and Tony Skymore Cuff and Dotson and all those guys later to fill your wide receiver 2-3. It's a really good approach, but at the end of the day, if you're asking my opinion, it's PPR, full PPR.
Yeah, full PPR.
Is it 3 mandatory wide receivers, 1 tight end? Is it tight end premium?
It's 2 receivers, 1 flex, no tight end premium.
Okay, but there is a mandatory tight end. Okay. I'm going Bijan.
Yeah, mandatory tight end.
I'm going Bijan if it's me,
All right.
but don't hesitate to go Kelsey. And you can watch the beginning of this video if you want to get hyped about Bijan round 1, or you can watch the previous video to get hyped about Kelsey. Either one's going to tell you it's amazing. The one thing I would say is that in previous years, people that drafted Kelsey in round 1, it was not an easy thing to do. You had to kind of have experience doing it to land it perfectly because you were so dry at running back, wide receiver. You're chasing running back and wide receiver the entire draft. This is the one year where you could literally jump into it without ever doing it before, and you can just get back to best player available and doing business in round 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and your team's going to look phenomenal. I go Bijan, but that's me. That's me. I'm riding Bijan as the best pick overall, 1 overall. But if I had 2 leagues side by side, I might go Kelsey 1, Bijan the other.
All right. Thanks, Smitty. I appreciate it.
Hey, real quick, last thing. Is it 10-man?
14.
14. You told me that already. There's pros and cons to look, 14-team league, tight end's going to drop quick for some people. But so will running back, so will wide receiver. Yeah. It's kind of all relative. 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, and a flex, though. I'm going Bijan, bro. I'm going Bijan only because your boy loves Kincaid and Kmet and freaking Okonkwo so much. I think you're going to smash, man. So I'll go Bijan, but that's me. Trust your gut, bro. Trust your gut. You're not making a mistake, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks,
Later.
Smitty. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Scott, final question. I'm gonna cycle everybody off the phone line. Scott, did you have a final question, bro? We're gonna be back today.
Let's figure out where I'm flexible. I'm thinking I've got 8 running backs: Donta Foreman, Jerome Ford, Gus Edwards. Which one of those would you cut loose?
Foreman, Jerome Ford, and Gus Edwards. Probably. I mean, Jerome Ford's hurt.
Well, not bad.
Yeah,
we got
but
21 days till football.
I know, but I don't know. I don't. I probably go Ford. I probably cut Ford. I mean, you're asking me about three guys that.
Yeah,
that's my answer.
I heard you say cut Kyle Trask, but I'm going to wait till tomorrow's game because he gets the start. He moves that offense.
Well, I can tell you right now, he's not the expected starter. So could he change that tomorrow? I guess, bro, but I doubt it. I doubt he's changing anything, bro. Baker went in and did okay. He's not losing the job. He's not losing the job, in my opinion.
I'll watch the game and then I'll make the decision.
Yeah.
But Minshew, should I cut him loose?
I mean, he's not starting either. I mean, you're talking about backups. You're trying to predict who's going to get in there. Like I said, Zappy and Cunningham are a more attractive eventual starting player than going these routes of these other guys. Because you're waiting on injury for these other guys to get in there. I'm waiting on not only injury from Mac Jones, but bad play. And everyone's laughing at my Cunningham take right now. But Cunningham, there's a report out there that Cunningham is their Taysom Hill, and they're going to be using Cunningham all over the field. And so you're in a bind in the Superflex, and they give this Cunningham kid a carry at the goal line, and he scores a touchdown, like in 20 yards rushing. Also, he got 8 points. So Cunningham's a crafty Superflex. All right.
You called me a legend. A league killer would be more like it. I have to play on Yahoo anonymously because I can't play in private leagues anymore. They won't let me.
All right. Hey, legend, I'm going to let you go for now. I'm going to get everybody out the phone line. Call in tonight if you want. We'll be live drafting Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. Link is pinned in the live chat. Link is in the description of every video. Sign up early, $10 minimum. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit, so use that first deposit amount wisely. We'll see you later, bro. We'll see you tonight, okay?
I appreciate your help. Thank you, Smitty.
Later. And let me get this caller here real quick. 774 caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Smitty, my name's Casey. I called you, I think, once last year. I'm a big fan of the show. I'm following you, I think, for about 2.5 years. Just want to say thank you for everything you do.
Hey, thank you. Where are you calling from?
Sure. I'm calling from Marlboro, Mass.
Okay.
So near Boston, about 30, 40 minutes about.
Okay.
So I have a question. I'm calling you because I'm in an 8-man keeper league. So my keepers are Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker. You can only keep 2 keepers, one drafted and then one off of free agency. And when Breece got hurt, one of my friends dropped him off the waiver wires, and as soon as he did that last year, I picked him up. So he gets to go in the 10th, and then I drafted Walker at 12, and he's supposed to move up 2 spots. But since Breece is going at 10, I'm just going to put him at 11. That's how my league's going to do it. So my question to you is, because obviously in a keeper league and in an 8-man, I feel like, well, this is what my belief is. You should go for as much star power as you possibly can. So I'm thinking I have the second pick. Should I go, would you do Bijan, Amon-Ra, and then Gibbs? Because I know Garrett Wilson's already being kept. Tony Pollard's being kept. Justin Fields being kept. Christian Watson's being kept. Who else is being? Justin Jefferson. CMC. So
all right, let's speed it up here. Do I take Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Gibbs, who I think are both potentially top 5 to 7 players at their position? The answer is absolutely yes. Like, you're smashing with that. But give me another scenario. That's an easy question to answer. But is there another player you're contemplating at the Gibbs spot? Is there another player you're contemplating with Amon-Ra? So I'm not sure what the question is because those are all my Moon Man and Marsman lists.
Right. No, because I'm wondering if I should try to go heavy RB, even though a lot of RBs are already being taken.
My answer,
I know you say best draft player available.
Yes, best.
But a lot of the RBs are going to be taken. So, and it's an 8-man league.
Yeah, okay, then even more so, don't even worry about position. You cannot draft a position in an 8-man league especially, Because I mean, listen to this right here, like what I've been saying here. If Walker is going in round 5 or round 4, in a worst case scenario, but round 5 in an 8-man league, he's going a lot. He's going a lot later. So you're gonna have no problem. It's all relative. You're gonna have no problem consuming Walker, and maybe he goes a little higher based on the suggested rank and all that. Pacheco, Swift, all these monsters that we love so much in the middle rounds. Pierce, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. Everybody thinks their league's different. My league's going to consume the running back a little. There's running backs in every single round sprinkled all over. There's no dead zone. The dead zone doesn't exist this year at any position. Not one position.
At all?
Not at quarterback, not at tight end, not at running back, not at wide receiver. The only whiff of a dry zone at all for me, based on who I like, is the 3rd round at running back. But it's not dead or dry. It's just my preference of running backs that are there. I don't love a lot of them. I'm only taking Jahmyr Gibbs really in the 3rd round. So it's kind of like, that's not a dead zone or dry zone. It's just a preference point for me to where I shift wide receiver very heavy. Not by design, not cementing in the idea. I'm just telling you after practice run, that best player available 90% of the time, if it's not Gibbs, it's a wide receiver or quarterback. It's not even a tight end. 0% of the time is it a tight end. I don't take Andrews there because I like a Conquo, Kincaid, Moore, and a Ridley right here, or Gibbs. But that's the only whiff of a place where it's not saturated with running back or wide receiver or quarterback or whatever. You got a quarterback pretty much in every single round all the way to round 6 that I love. T. Law, Burrow, Fields, Hurts, Mahomes.
And then here's my other question, because as I said, Kenneth Walker was my 10th and Breece Hall's my 11th. My other 2 keepers, because I have the 2nd pick and I'm sold on Bijan, but Chase is available. And then I picked up Joe Burrow off the waiver wires because 8-man. So I could go either him at 10 and then take Walker at 11. But I can't take Breece. Which one do you think is a better route to go? Chase at 2 and then go Walker and then Burrow at 10, 11? Or just go Bijan and then Walker and then Hall at 10 and 11?
They're both amazing, bro. They're both amazing. I love Bijan. I love Chase. You can't go wrong either way.
Oh, yeah, it's a 2-flex league. It's a 2-flex league, too.
Yeah, there's really no answer here because it's like I said, side by side. I'd take Chase in one draft and I'd take Bijan in the other. If you said it's an 8-man league?
Yeah, 8-man.
So in an 8-man league, I'm going to lean Bijan. The reason I'm going to lean Bijan is that you're going to have so many amazing wide receivers. You're going to have Watson as your 3rd wide receiver. You're going to have London as your 4th wide receiver. Pickens can't even crack your lineup. And the running backs will dry up to a certain degree faster. And so Bijan's the pick, bro. He's the pick. He's the smash. 8-man league. Very, very easy call.
Okay. So what do you think I should do around the 4th? Because I know Calvin Ridley is also being kept too.
Sorry, go ahead. Hang tight real quick. Hang tight real quick, bro. Hold on 1 second, okay? Sorry about the delay, guys. Sorry about the delay. I had to go handle a couple things real quick. Appreciate everybody waiting. Where were we at, bro? What was your last question here?
So one of the guys in my league is keeping Garrett Wilson, and he's keeping Christian McCaffrey. So I was thinking, because since there's going to be a rush, because I feel like you're drafting from the third round in a keeper. Let's say if Amon-Ra gets taken in the second, would you go Chris Olave? Is that fine, or do you think I should still wait?
I mean, these are all players I love, bro. I'm not saying that there isn't like a right answer or something like that, but I think you could go 100,000 different directions with this, and the bottom line is you got to take every pick step by step. You know what I mean? Like so. Okay. Give me a dilemma real quickly, and I got to move on to the next card. Give me a dilemma. Give me 4 guys. Give me 3 guys, and I'm going to tell you who I'd take. Then give me another 3 or 4 guys. I'll tell you who I'd take, and this is how I would draft. So you're planning too far in advance, I think. But go ahead.
Okay. So because I know Christian Watson's being kept, Calvin Ridley, what's it called? Garrett Wilson.
Just give me, hey, bro, give me like 3 or 4 names, and I'll tell you a guy. I don't need to know those details, and I got to move on to the next question. Just hit me with 3 or 4 names, and I'll tell you who I'd take.
T. Higgins, Devontae Smith, and George Pickens. Where would you take Pickens in an 8-man?
They're not even close to the same ADP. Pickens is like 7th or 8th round.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But where should you take him?
In a 12-team 7.
Are going to be taken.
12 team, he goes 7-8. Yeah, 12 team, he goes 7-8. In your draft, I mean, he's going to go like 10, you know. But hang tight, bro. I'm going to move around. Formulate a question in terms of like how. Give me a list of players, and I'll give you an answer. I'll come right back around. Who am I talking to? Is this Bobby?
Yeah, it's me.
Or no? Who was I talking to? Was that Casey?
No, Casey.
Yeah, okay. Casey, come up with a question of names, and I'll go through 3 different groups of names, and I'll tell you who I'd draft. But you can't. You're planning too far in advance. I could tell by the questions. Should I go here? If I go here, take every pick as it comes. Who is the best player available? Simplify this for yourself. Especially in an 8-man league, bro, you're not gonna misstep on taking running back, or going wide receiver, or going Bijan over Chase. You can't misstep. You cannot misstep at all, bro. At all in an 8-man league. Just say to yourself, who is the best player available at every single pick, and you're going to smash it, bro. You're going to smash it. I have faith in you. You're going to smash it. You just got to simplify your thinking and stop worrying so much to the future. I can tell you're kind of maybe a overthinker. Is that right, Casey? Am I right on that?
Yeah, I am. And one of my friends in this league watches this show too, so that's why I'm afraid.
What's his name?
His name's Chuck. He hasn't called in yet, but
Chuck,
he found out about this.
Yeah, Chuck, Casey's going to work you over, bro. He's going to work you over because he's been calling into the phone line. So get scared. But I can tell, Casey, I got a psych degree, pal. I can tell you're an anxious person. You're thinking too far. Take everything as it comes. And I promise you will be a better fantasy football player if you ask yourself the question every time you're on the clock, who is the best pick right now out of all the picks? Stop worrying about position. Stop worrying about, well, what if, if I go here and go here, then I got to get rid. You're in an 8-man league, bro. You're in an 8-man league. No offense, but in an 8-man league, you've got saturation across every position. There's no reason you can't go RB, and still crush wide receiver and quarterback. Take the best player every time you're on the clock. It's that simple, and you're going to smash, Casey. You're going to smash. All right, hang tight. Bobby, you're up.
All right, so going back earlier to when we were talking about Ridley, Walker, Lawrence, 4, 5, 6, how would you feel if you had Watson in the 4, so Watson 4, Walker 5, Lawrence 6, and you were able to scoop up London in the 7th. Would you do that, or would you rather still have Fields in 4, Walker 5, and then London in the 6th?
Okay, so Fields 4, Walker 5?
Yeah, Walker 5 cemented, no matter what.
Okay, and then what else?
Would you rather have Watson or Fields in 4, or Lawrence and London in 6 with.
Yeah, Fields, Walker, and who was this in the Fields Walker scenario? Who was in the 6th round?
Fields, Walker, London.
London, okay. Or Watson, Walker, T-Law. I'm gonna go Fields, Walker, London, because I just love Fields that much, bro. Fields is worth the extra cost over T-Law in 6. And the fact that London is still capable of being every bit as good as Watson, he really is. And I know a lot of people aren't going to see that right now because they're feeling the effects of overstimulation of London talk all offseason long. And everybody kind of comes back down to earth. You know what I'm saying, bro? Where they're like, okay, London's so good. He's so talented. And then we've talked about him for a while. And now we don't really necessarily know what to think about London anymore. That's how everybody's feeling about London. But the truth is, doesn't matter.
Right.
Ritter's good enough. I'm not saying he's a great quarterback or ever will be. He's good enough to feed the man 1,300, 1,400 yards. Maybe his touchdowns are 6 or 7 instead of 12 or 15 like they're capable because London's that good of a player. This is DJ Moore on repeat pre-going to Chicago. DJ Moore was a phenomenal wide receiver talent, and DJ Moore never got fed enough. And so he never could truly get to his full potential. That's what's possible here for a London situation, right? But look at this in the context of London and Fields is, you could argue, equal to T-Law and Watson, but I'm going to go ahead and say London and Watson are so close. Fields and even though I love T-Law, they're not close to me. Even though I love T-Law, he's a great 3rd player to draft if you got Burrow and Fields already wiped off the board, but Fields in 4 wins leagues. Just wins leagues, bro.
Gotcha. See, and the dilemma hits me because it's a 3 wide receiver, and once I get to that 4 spot, London is falling into the 7th round, and I have an early 7th, so I still have a chance to get London. That's why I'm more curious. You know, if I have that 3 wide receiver slot, would it be more advantageous then to do Watson, Walker, Lawrence, and then to hope to get London?
I think you're kind of going toward the direction that I was telling Casey not to go. You're thinking too many levels of it, bro. You got to take the best player available at every round. And I know you're trying to just work out the ideas, but you're trying to draft a person or slot a person dependent on another thing, and you can't really do that. You got to just say to yourself, is Fields the best pick? Yes, then why would you go another direction unless you thought things were dead even, which is when you decide to lean position, when all things are equal. But Fields, to me, in 4 is league winning. There's a reason he is on this list of being one of the very few, I narrowed it down to 4 players, best picks in fantasy football 2023. And we're talking about not taking him in this conversation. And for me, that's hard to do because he is one of the 4 best picks you can take. So just take Fields, and then it'll unravel the way it unravels. And every time you're on the clock, you're going to ask yourself, who is the best pick here? It's Walker. Great. Now, when you get to round 6, you'll have a dilemma there, and you're going to take the best player available there. Maybe it's not even London. Maybe you're telling yourself, I actually like Pickens as much as London right now. Because the hype's growing on Pickens, man. It's growing fast. So maybe you're sitting there around 6, and you go, F it. I'm taking Swift. Or I'm taking this player or that player. And then you go ahead and go Pickens and Dotson later, and you have that quietly unique and very underrated wide receiver crew that's filling that one spot London was going to fill. Or JSN, you got the balls to take JSN at that spot. Or whatever the hell the case may be. Waller is, somebody that I start looking at in territories like that because I think he's going to be spoon-fed. Or you go another wide receiver that ends up popping up there. All right, hang tight real quick. Bobby, I'm going to go over to Marsman Rock Out on the phone. Marsman Rock Out, what is up, my guy?
What's up? I think you kind of answered the question, but if your league is running back heavy, I usually go Chase or Jefferson number 1. Would you consider going Robinson?
Chase or Jefferson number 1 or Robinson? It depends. Is it 3 wide receivers? Is it PPR? And at the end of the day, I'm probably still leaning. I'm still barely leaning JJ or Chase if it's 3 wide receiver PPR. But if it's 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, and a flex where you could start 3 RBs or 3 wide receivers depending on your preference, or even better, it is an 8 or a 10-man league, no matter what the wide receiver situation looks like, I'm going to go Bijan in that situation because it's a smaller league and I could consume these wide receivers like crazy.
Yeah, it's a 12 double flex, wide receiver, running back, tight end for the 2 flex.
Yeah, I'm probably going Bijan. I don't know. I go back and forth. I have no hesitation going Bijan, JJ, or Chase. And honestly, some of it, and this might sound, I don't know, wishy-washy, but some of it depends on what I just did in my other draft. I've got 2 drafts going on, and I took Bijan on one. I do love both of them enough to mix it up. So it really just does come down to that in some ways. Guys, we're on the clock in the throne draft, and I'm going to show the screen real quick, and you guys can help me draft this next player. And I'll show you the board real quick. We'll plug in. We're on the clock in the throne draft. Here we go. Let me share screen, and let's get to it.
Was Chiga last pick or Conquo?
Our last selection was Chiga Conquo. So here's the draft right here. Barkley, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Breece Hall, Justin Fields, Drake London, Isaiah Pacheco, George Pickens, Kadarius Toney, Jerick McKinnon, Dalton Kincaid, Aaron Rodgers, Chiga Conquo. We're on the clock. We have 4 more draft selections. We're not back to back here, but we got a pretty nice little turnaround. Here's our team again. Our team looks phenomenal. Fields, Barkley, Hall, St. Brown, Drake London, George Pickens, Dalton Kincaid, Pacheco. And really, we can throw up, if for any reason Breece Hall's not ready for week 1, which I think that he might be more ready than Dalvin Cook. Like, everybody needs to calm the hell down about Dalvin Cook, who's not even able to practice till next week, if that. And Breece is out there running in 11-on-11 drills. It's unbelievable to me. But we could throw Pacheco into the running back spot, and then really Toney or McKinnon or whatever could go into our flex. So we're really good here. But we have 4 spots left. There's no kicker, no defense, as you can see. It's just 4 bench spots to go. We already have Fields and Aaron Rodgers, and a lot of people, I remember correctly, we got made fun of last year in this league based on the other people doing reviews on this draft, the other communities, because this is an expert league. And they laughed at us because we drafted 3 QBs. And there's a couple people out there, I won't mention any names, that always have something to say about that. Like, you never draft 3 QBs in a 1 QB league. You just don't do it. I completely disagree. I think that you could draft 3 QBs with ease and sleep very well at night, because if a quarterback goes down, you're still going to have to back up your new quarterback. And what happens if you get hit with a couple injuries? It happens all the time. And not to mention, what matters is there anybody on the board left that you love anyway? And if not, take a quarterback you love, and then maybe you can make a trade. Last year, we made a trade, I believe, involving a quarterback, if I remember correctly, or the year before. So let's go to the available players. Cole Kmet is there in case we wanted to go with an extra tight end, because we did end up going Kincaid, who we might need to wait on, and a Conquo. I'm pretty comfortable with that, but Cole Kmet is a value. So I don't mind going a 3rd tight end, to be honest. Not to mention you can still play that player at your flex if you needed to. Thielen's there. Mooney's there. Rashee Rice is there. And we have Kadarius Toney. That's not a bad option. Mostert is there. Foreman is there. Let me sort by RB. Derek Carr and Jordan Love are there. I'm very tempted to say Jordan Love would be a great pick here. If I sort it by RB, Chase Brown's there. Spears. The running backs have thinned out very, very quickly. But we have some good running back depth. Evan Hall is there if we wanted to go running back. I guess we could potentially look at that. Although I'm not as high on him as some people. But he's a decent pick here. Wide receiver, Thielen, Mooney, Rashee Rice. Zay Jones is a really good pick here. I really like Zay here. We talked about him a little bit earlier. Zay would be a nice little move. So if it were up to me, I would say Cole Kmet, Jordan Love, or Zay Jones, or Rashee Rice, or Evan Hall. So can we get a vote?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you think, I keep hearing Richie James is going to get a good run in KC. So do you think he's going to play over Rashee Rice, or what are your thoughts on that?
He could. It's tough to know. It's tough to know. They're both pretty. I mean, ultimately, we could take both of them with these back-to-back picks and just say, screw it. Let's consume a bunch of the KC offense. I don't think that's a crazy approach. I really don't. I could care less what other people think anyway. If you do some kind of weird approach, we got a Zay vote. Ty Chandler available? Yes, he is. Mooney. Is that an Alec Pierce vote? Stack Darnell Mooney with Fields. Stacking doesn't necessarily help you in this, but I don't mind that. I actually don't mind Mooney, so that's good. Cole Kmet a vote. Love or Rice. I mean, we're all over the map on this one.
Did someone got Tank Dell?
Yeah, unfortunately, Tank Dell went. I thought maybe he'd last, but he didn't. Richie James vote. Giants legend. Cole Kmet baby. Mooney or grab and hoard RBs. Love or Rice. Mooney is supposed to be good this year, ? Says that boy. That boy, I saw your super chat. I'm coming for you, pal. Just hang tight real quickly and overcome. Overcome says Brees, Wilson, Stack. I forget why you asked this, Brees, Wilson. I don't mind that at all. Overcome, thank you for that question. I think they can definitely coexist together. I'm not scared of that at all. A bad stack would be like Kyle Pitts and Drake London. That would be a bad stack because you're worried about volume to the pass catchers, whereas Bijan and London's not bad. Cole Kmet or Zay, Cole Kmet, Hyatt gone. Hyatt might not be gone, actually. Let's go to rookies. I do like Hyatt. I do like him a lot. Let's see, he might be gone.
Hyatt would be interesting.
Let's see, let me type him in here. Hyatt, he is gone. Okay. So Rashee Rice is interesting, but I don't know. I kind of feel like Jordan Love. I don't necessarily need it, but Jordan Love would be a nice addition. Like if Aaron Rodgers got hurt or something.
I like Love or Kmet, but go with the
That's really.
I like Love.
I like Kmet too. The question would be, do we want to have 3 tight ends or 3 quarterbacks? Because it will be a surplus, but I kind of feel like quarterback's the most important position. But
I guess the other thing to think about is like with Zay, like he does have a tendency to have huge games, but it's not. This isn't best ball, right? So we would have to play him at the right time.
Yeah. We got Kmet, a bunch of Kmet votes. We got a lot of people like Kmet. Zay's got a few votes. Hyatt's gone.
Do you think Love will last? Some people are low on that. Some people hate.
Yeah,
Love.
you know what? He definitely will. You're right. Let's wait on Love because he's like 5 quarterbacks down, and they might be watching. All these people might be watching, which is fine. They can snipe if they want. It's hard to convince a community because of this, but we'll see. So maybe we go Zay or Kmet here, and then we go Jordan Love or Kmet or Zay the next pick. So let's vote here on.
Kmet's interesting because we have Fields as well. I know stacks aren't everything at all, but if it came down to it, although we do have 2 tight ends, so.
Okay. Gaming says, laughing my ass off, Kmet, bro, offense doesn't pass. It's going to be a long year for Fields' daughters. It really is. It's going to be a long season.
Yeah.
It's going to be such a long year.
The way you talk about Fields, I think Kmet's the answer because if Fields is going to be number 1, possibly, Kmet's going to have, I feel, a big part in that.
Yeah, I guess the question would be, because we have a Conquo Kincaid, would we rather have Zay? Would we rather have Zay here? Our bench players are, because if Hall does come out of the lineup, which I don't think he will, but if he did come out for week 1 or whatever, we'd put Pacheco into our running back slot. We'd have Kadarius Toney / McKinnon / Zay Jones / whatever as the flex. So Zay probably is the most useful player, I guess, to our lineup. And I do like him a lot. He's like a baby Deebo Samuel. Kmet is interesting. Maybe we get him on the next pick. Let's vote between Zay, based on the chat. Let's vote between Zay Jones and Kmet. And then when we flip back around, we either go Love or Kmet. Okay, so on the phone line, we got one Komet vote. Go ahead. Read off your vote, guys. Komet?
Zay.
Komet. Four.
Zay.
I think I was three people.
So we got 3 Komets and 2
Two
Zays.
Zays. I'm going to go Zay, so it's tied. So basically our vote. Let's go to the chat. Zay Jones, Mooney, Zay. This is not Zay Flowers. Double X, this is not Zay Flowers. Zay, Komet, Zay, not Zay, Zay. I feel like Zay's got a 1 vote lead. Zay, Comet. Bill says comment, like a comet in the sky. Komet, Zay, Komet.
This is close. Zay might have a slight edge.
Zay says sick nasty. Diego says Zay. I think Zay's up by 2 or 1.
I'm being honest, but I don't know if people are typing multiple times.
Nah, I'm looking at it and I don't see it. A lot of Zay, Komet, Zay,
Yeah.
Zay won. It's close.
Yeah, Zay's got it.
Let's go,
Yeah,
Zay.
Zay's got it.
Zay Jones. He is now part of the squad.
I mean, if we lose a receiver or 2, or if the Jaguars lose a receiver, he's getting fed. So
yeah.
And who knows? He might be a big part of it, anyways. It's a good pick.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, Smitty, I'm going to jump. Actually, I'll be back for the late show, though.
All right, I'll see you later. I gotta cycle off because we got to come back. Komet is the pick here, Smith. Well, we're gonna probably get him on the way back, or Love. Either one will be fine. All right, later, Travis. Let's go. Final thoughts around the phone line. Charles, I haven't let you talk much, if at all, so I'm not gonna limit you to 10 seconds, but we got to keep it brief. So hit me with it. Appreciate you.
Oh, I just have a question to ask you. Your advice. So I'm number 1 draft pick in a 10-team league. I'm going to go Kelsey, but on the second turnaround, what do you think I should do?
Give me a list of guys, because I mean you could go 100,000.
I don't know yet. I
So
haven't drafted yet. So
what draft slot was this? What pick? Pick number?
First pick.
And you're gonna go Kelsey at number 1.
And then who would you think go number? I mean, not as player, but should I just go QB, running back, wide receiver? Just
Best player available, pal. Best player available. You don't go position. You go player. But you're taking Kelsey at 1 overall.
Yes.
I mean, I don't hate that. It is unusual. He's definitely a steal in like the 5, 6, 7, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think territory.
Right.
It's not crazy to go Kelsey 1. If you could trade down, I would, because I think you almost guarantee, unless it's premium. Is it tight end premium?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Then I'd probably say, like, at that turn, I'm loving. If Andrews slips into that top 24 because it's tight end premium, and you might end up seeing like a Pollard or a Garrett Wilson or a St. Brown fall, but probably not. Just depends on how many, how people freak out about that scoring system. But you could probably land. I would be very comfortable. 12 man. 10. I'd be comfortable.
Who would you pick number 1? Just out of curiosity.
I would probably take Bijan, Chase, or JJ still, but I love Kelsey at that 4, 5, 6. I'll probably trade down. In tight end premium, though, you might really end up crushing if you land these other players. But is it 6 points per TD pass or 4?
4.
And it's 1 QB.
One QB.
Yeah. Bro, it's a really, really tough call. I would say, I don't know if Tony Pollard or Garrett Wilson or St. Brown fall, but in a 10-man they could. In a tight end premium 10-man they could. One of them could. They would be the easy smash.
Okay.
After that, I mean, it really gets interesting, whether it be like a Lave and Gibbs. Gibbs would be very early because you're in a 10-man. So I'd be careful. I'd almost try and let Gibbs fall to your next pick. You wouldn't be crazy to go Patrick Mahomes. I don't know if you'll even get him, but you could try the Kelsey Mahomes stack. Grab a player like, Walker, Gibbs, Pacheco, all those guys after your fourth round on. I think, you have a real opportunity to smash with Mahomes and Kelsey if Mahomes falls. I probably wouldn't pass that up in a 10-man. Honestly, that would be fun. That would be fun to try. But
I appreciate it.
Yeah, just make sure you don't go in with a position in mind. Like, literally ask yourself that reset question every time. Who can smash from this pick? Who can actually climb up all the way into round 1? And Fields could, so when you're around 4, or, I'd probably say 4 for you because you have that high third pick. In the 4th round, if Burrow or Fields are there, they could be a top 10 overall, pick in hindsight. Of course, not people aren't drafting Fields or Burrow or Mahomes or Hurts in the top 10, but in hindsight, and when I say that in hindsight, think of it like this. This is why I think this is what I said all last offseason. I'm the biggest early quarterback advocate in the industry you can find, because I always create content on early quarterback is not a mistake. But the only reason I'm not doing it this year is because 2 quarterbacks were ripped from where they belong in round 2 and dropped off in round 4 and 5, round 4 and 6, and Joe Burrow and Fields. They belong in round 2. Fields belongs in round 2 right next to Josh Allen. Burrow belongs in round 2 right next to Josh Allen. So I tend to like the early quarterback in round 4 and 5 because they're early quarterbacks. It's crazy. But I'm a big advocate and defender. I'm the Robin Hood of defending early quarterback. And I think that the way to prove this, and I say this every offseason, is once the first whistle blows and week 1 starts, you can't trade a 10 overall player for Mahomes, for Hurts. Go try. During the season, go to the Mahomes or Hurts owner and offer him a player that you drafted at 14 overall and see what they say. They'll say no. So therefore, like driving a car off of the reverse of driving a car off the lot, you take your car, you buy it at the dealership, you drive it off the lot. What happens? It goes down like $2,000 immediately. This is the reverse. You take a Mahomes or a Hurts out of round 3. As soon as you drive it off the lot, it's worth a top 12 overall pick. So it's crazy. It's crazy. People just don't think about it. It's the quarterback value goes up. No one's trading Hurts. No one's trading Mahomes. You'd have to offer him a top 5 or 6, 7 overall player. No one's trading him. They score too many points. And that's the true test of whether a player is undervalued. In week 1, in the middle of week 1, or after week 1's played, is anybody trade this player at the value you got? If the answer is hell no, no one's giving this player up, then you got to steal on draft day. No one's trading Justin Fields to you going into week number 2 or week number 3. As soon as everybody starts to settle on the fact that he's a top 5 quarterback, locked in, nobody's trading you Fields for a third round player. No one's trading you Fields for your second drafted player that you got in the middle of round 2. Nobody. Right. Fields will be untouchable. Fields will require a top 10 overall player from the looking back on the draft log in order to get Fields in a trade. It's the dumbest thing in the world, and I feel like nobody sees it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Who was I talking to? Charles? Was this Charles?
Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate it.
All right, I got to jump. So Charles, I'll see you later, pal. Call in tonight. Bobby, final thoughts. Quick.
Swift, Flowers, Sky, or Herbert?
Swift, Flowers, Sky, or Herbert. Khalil Herbert, I assume. Swift, Flowers, Sky. Give me Swift all day long. Swift is a 6th-round player. All right, later, Bobby. Nope. Call in tonight. Rock out. Final thoughts.
Aaron Jones or
Pierce. But at cost. Aaron Jones goes higher, but like just in a vacuum, I'd rather have Pierce. I don't know that I trust Aaron Jones to stay healthy. Past that, I love the offense. I love what Jordan Love's going to do. I just, for some reason, have a little bit of worry about him, if you know what I mean. But Pierce at cost. If you especially consider cost, and I could do something with my 4th-round pick instead of spending it on Aaron Jones, like you give me Kenneth Walker in round 4, go a little early on Kenneth Walker in 4, and then I can buy Pierce later instead of going Aaron Jones in 4, or give me Fields instead of Aaron Jones so that I can get Pierce in round 5 or 6 or whatever the hell he falls. And I'd rather have Swift, than going Aaron Jones in 4 if I could go Swift in 6 or whatever. So I just don't find myself drafting Aaron Jones. There's too many players right where Aaron Jones is going. I'm looking at a draft log here. Aaron Jones went at number 3. Look at this. In the throne draft. Let's see. Let me go to a different. Let me go to Underdog because the throne draft's a little different. We have a Green Bay Packer fan that drafted him in the 3rd round there. Let's go. Let's go to Underdog. Let me get into this draft right here. Let me show my screen here, and let's dig into the Aaron Jones thing real quickly, and I got to go. So here's this Underdog draft that I'm in right now. My team is straight sick fire, absolute beast of a team. I can't believe I have this squad. Look at this squad right here. Justin Fields, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Kenneth Walker, Calvin Ridley, Mike Evans. Unbelievable. This is a puppy 2, I believe, right? Or puppy 3? Let's see. Puppy 3, $200,000 to first place, $100,000 to second place. What are we spending it on? What are we spending it on, guys? What are we going to do when we win this thing? Look at this. And I don't love Mike Evans, but I really like him. And when I go cheap wide receiver 2 shopping because I stacked up on Fields, Bijan, Gibbs, Kenneth Walker, Ridley, I don't mind Evans at all as my wide receiver 2. He looks fantastic in that draft slot. But going to Aaron Jones and locating him on here, he is where? Okay, he went pretty late here, 52 overall. But look, I got Kenneth Walker at 53. So Aaron Jones, and then if I look beyond that, so Walker at 53, who else would I have taken that got drafted after? Pierce is right there. JSN's right there. Then it flips around. Pickens is later. T. Law. So, if Aaron Jones did fall to round 5, it's pretty good value, but Walker was there. So it's very rare that there isn't at least one player I like better. So had Aaron Jones fallen. Now, if Walker went at the pick before and Aaron Jones fell, not only would I be crying myself to sleep that I missed out on it, it would have been close. It would have been Aaron Jones' potential area where the line in the sand is for me. But I see him go higher than that. But this team's straight fire. Just unbelievable. I love that squad. Yeah. All right. I see you later, Rock Out. We'll call in tonight.
All right.
Casey from Boston, we got to make it really quick. You got 10 to 15 seconds, and I'm hitting the button. All right, go.
You kind of answered my question because Fields is being kept, and I'm 8. So should I smash Mahomes in the 4th? Because my league takes QBs late. Last year I took Allen in the 3rd. No one took QBs till 6 and 7.
Bro, only take Mahomes in 4 if you like winning. Okay?
All right. Okay.
Call in tonight, Casey. Call in tonight. Fitzy.
Okay.
Fitzy, I know you haven't had time to talk really, but you got like a very short amount of time, like 30 seconds. Go.
Okay, I was going to ask a question because I have the 11th pick in a 12-team PPR league.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing a mock draft, and I was wondering, during the 4th round, should I take a Kenneth Walker or reach a few picks and get Justin Fields? And because I could get Kenneth Walker and then trade Trevor Lawrence in round 5, or I could reach a few picks. So basically, Kenneth Walker or Justin Fields in round 4.
It's tough. Sick Nasty's got a draft call ordered. If anybody wants to order draft calls, go to thefantasyfootballshow.com. You can click on this pricing tab right here, and then below the pricing table are the draft calls. But you can order a draft call. Also, go to thefantasyfootballshow.com for your year-round rankings. Rankings are through the roof. Superflex, non-superflex, dynasty, redraft, rookie, super rookie, top 200, and trade calculator, bold predictions, all the articles and all that. Sick Nasty, appreciate your super chat, and definitely we'll be attacking your draft tomorrow. Sick Nasty has ordered a draft call. I have a few draft calls on the slate for tomorrow, Sunday. This is draft call season, so I'm excited to help a lot of you draft. I've done like 5 drafts already in the last 5 days. Any chance Andrews faces discipline for Slam? We'll have to see, bro. We'll have to see. That boy, appreciate your super chat, by the way. And I don't know. Brees, Wilson, Stack, love it, overcome, appreciate your super chat. And then this question on the phone with Fitzy, I'd say give me Fields in 4 because he's most likely not falling to 5, and then Walker in 5. But I don't know. I guess if you,
But I don't think Walker's going to fall to 5. So
okay, then
so you like Fields better than Kenneth Walker in round 4.
I guess it would depend on my team structure at that point, because best player available helps you to get to a certain door. And then once we look at like, okay, all things being very close and even, then you can lean position a little more. And I guess I would say to you, I'm trying to get to the Law Dog here. Hold on. Law Dog, please step forward, Law Dog. Hold on, I got to get him. Let me see if I can get it. Hold on. I'm trying to move Trevor Lawrence to the front here. There he is. So I guess I would ask you, what's the odds of T-Law falling to 6? Would you have to take him to 5?
I'll take him in 5, but yeah, they're pretty high, I feel like.
Okay. So
would you rather take Kenneth Walker and then just let Trevor Lawrence, and get him at 5?
No. I'd rather have Fields and the chance of Walker, and if you don't get Walker, it's so tough because literally, bro, my best.
It is a tough decision. I was looking at it today, and I was like, I wonder what he thinks. And
it's so tough. I could go back and forth on it, but ultimately,
I know.
Ultimately, I guess I would say who's there in round 5, running back wise, and would I rather have a Kamara and Fields, or would I rather have Walker and T-Law? It's really close, but I just think Fields is so capable of literally winning you a league.
I think he's capable too. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I lean Fields, but can you trade into round 4? Can you get rid of your 7th rounder, just give it away for free to move your 6 into 4 or your 5?
I can try, but I don't think so.
Do that. Get Walker and Fields. Otherwise, I'm not happy. All right. Fitzy, call tonight. Later, pal. Mud Dogs, I got a very short period of time. You got 30 seconds or so. Hit me, and then if you sent me a text, I got to get to you. I'm so sorry about the text being delayed on the text line. Hit me with it, Mud Dogs.
All good, Smitty. Hey, I got 2 quick dynasty questions for you. I have CeeDee Lamb and Dameon Pierce, and I'm thinking about sending a guy an offer to get Olave and Pollard. Do you think that's a good offer, or should I stick with the guys I got? I don't really hear you talking much about Lamb this year.
Yeah, I mean, so this is easy. Let me just put it on the board to emphasize how easy this question is. This is one of the easiest questions I've been asked all night. And this is how everybody should make their trades. A lot of people use trade calculators, and your boy pretty much invented the trade calculator in the industry, because I've been doing this since 2003. And there might have been people trying to work on it. Maybe one was available. Who the hell knows? But I was one of the bigger content providers in 2003. There were very few sites. There was 10 of us out in 2003. I've been doing it that long, and I created the trade calculator. So there's nothing wrong with the trade calculator at all. But I think people sometimes miss the boat on how to evaluate a trade very simply and quickly. And if we look at it like this, you said who are the 2 players? Tony Pollard and who?
Tony Pollard and Olave, the guy has, and I have CeeDee Lamb and Dameon Pierce.
Okay. Pollard is a borderline 12 to 14 player. So you could technically speaking consider him a first rounder. He's right in the middle of a first round pick, in my opinion. So we'll put a dotted line here. Pollard is here, and so is Lamb. Lamb and Pollard are pretty much even, bro. Just almost dead even. Olave is a second round player, but I realized that on other platforms he could be a third round player. But to me, he values in right in this 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 area. And Dameon Pierce isn't in, but maybe round 5, 6. So we'll call Pierce right here. So essentially you're getting a mid-second and a tied with Lamb borderline first round player for a borderline first round player and a 5 to 6 player. So it's that simple. You're getting 2 players you're taking potentially in the top 15 in Pollard and Olave. And while Lamb, you could essentially just wipe these guys clean and say, who do you rather have, Olave or Pierce? So it's simple. Very simple way to.
So that's what I'm saying. So is my offer disrespectful? Should I not send that? Should I add something to it or change it up?
I don't think he's going to accept it. But you know, you never know. I'd hate to say add something and he would do it. But sometimes you drive somebody away from even doing a deal, period. You know, like if you said, hey, let's work out a trade. And then, I mean, add something in, but I don't know what. I don't know if we have time to break that down on the call because I got to run. But I would say hit me up on the text line. Yeah, hit me on the text line. Let's try and work this out.
All right, the second question really quick was, if I don't do that one, I was going to offer CeeDee Lamb and Dameon Pierce for Bijan. Do you think that's a fair trade? Do you think I should try that?
I think that's fair. I think it's a fair offer, sure. And I would do it. I'd take Bijan, but it's fair. It's fair enough. I mean, people don't view Bijan like we do sometimes. So, but keep in mind, he drafted Bijan, so he might. So, all right. Hey, appreciate you, Mud Dogs. I'll see you on the text line. If you guys want to order the text line, thefantasyfootballshow.com. All your content, rankings, bold predictions, articles, you name it, do it live. Appreciate you. Let's ride. Appreciate you all. Thank you for dialing in. Thefantasyfootballshow.com. Again, for your content, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty, or use the link in the live chat that's pinned. And if you're watching the replay of the video, it's in the description of this video and pretty much every video. Just hit that link. And it'll get you up to $100 bonus match, dollar for dollar on your first deposit. So hit it, do it. See it tonight. We're drafting tonight. Make sure you hit that link and you get prepared so you can build a team like this on Underdog Fantasy that I'm building right here. I'll see you all tonight on the show. Get out of here. I got some super chats here real quickly. Hold on. Let me get these super chats taken care of. I'm sorry, I just saw a couple of them. We got one here from Joe. Joe says Watson in London over for Olave. I'd take Watson in London over Olave in a heartbeat, Joe, in a millisecond. And I love Olave, but I'd take him in a heartbeat. Sick Nasty says Dynasty start up. Where should Gibbs go? I don't know, to be honest with you. The ADP is awful, but I would take him as high as 10 easily. I don't even know if I'd have to go higher than that or not. It depends on the group that you're drafting with. Foamy says, hey, Smitty, lateral Nicholas, I guess, tried to call, but there were people in front. I drafted this team tonight at the 10 team 1.1. Chase, Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra, Brees, Kenneth Walker, Anthony Richardson, Javonte Swift, Dotson. That's a freaking phenomenal team, bro. Absolutely crush it, Foamy. I'm sending you to the moon on that. Actually, you know what? Better yet.
Got him.
Foamy, that's crazy, bro. And Owen said Gibbs or Ridley in the third round. Give me Gibbs. I love both of them, Owen. I love both of them, but give me Gibbs. Hopefully you can land both of them. I guess I'd go Ridley if you think there's, based on the suggested rank, there's a really strong chance you get both of them by going Ridley first. Foamy, did you get that? Foamy, appreciate you. Foamy, you still here? Foamy, Owen, Sick Nasty, Joe, did you guys all, hopefully you guys you're here and you can let me know that you saw my response. We got Pal Derby in the building too. Pal, appreciate you. Matt, appreciate you. Foamy, Owen, Sick Nasty, did you guys catch it? There you go. Foamy's here. Appreciate you. Foamy to the moon. Appreciate your super chat. Sorry, it took me a little bit to see that one. Zach, appreciate you. Travis, appreciate you. Let's go out there and get Justin Fields. You know, get Fields, baby.
Leave it on the fields.
Just in time.
Fields of dreams.
Fields like making love.
Outstanding in his fields.
Fields so good.
Fields general. My field's good. Uneven playing fields.
Battlefields tested.
Fields. He's for reals.
Drafting tonight, probably about an hour, 2 hours, probably about 2 hours from now, a little over 2 hours from now, we'll be drafting live here on the YouTube channel. See you all in a very, very little amount of time. 8 p.m. Eastern every Monday through Friday. Today is Friday, so the next show will be tonight. Graveyard shift, well, really morning time, but tonight at 1:30 a.m. Eastern, and then tomorrow we have a 1:30 a.m. Eastern draft show as well. Let's go. Get Bijan.
Hi, my name is Bijan Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring touchdowns.